The close tonight. Markets are, wow, at day highs. Very, very positive on the session right across the board. What a day. 2.5% right now for the S&P, the Dow 2.08, 2.89 for the NASDAQ. Nice positive numbers top to bottom right now. 1.6 here for the TSX in Toronto. Yeah, 9.5% back to the upside, back above 23,000 for Bitcoin once again. Ethereum as well, 7.25%. It has been a very, very positive afternoon for the entire market. I can show you the board here, but it's very one-sided, as you can imagine. We still have SBNY and IBM, the only ones kind of standing out here to the downside, both on earnings. J&J, a little bit hard to see, but also in negative territory, 1.5% to the downside. Everything else, though, what a day. Right across the entire thing, the industrials, the tech sector, both leading the way. Hardware equipment makers among the leaders to the upside. We also have semiconductors with a big move so far today. ON, NVIDIA, AMD, all 5 to 6% in positive territory. It's been pretty impressive for the travel names as well, back to the upside. Delta, 4%, UAL, AAL, back to the upside as well. The cruise lines, we'll talk about those coming up here, but CCL, RCL, and NCLH here as well, 4 to 7% on that CDC note. They've removed their COVID protocols for cruise lines, so handing over responsibility to the cruise lines to screen for COVID, sending them sharply higher for 2 days in a row here. Apache, yeah, energy stocks even nicely higher with crude oil back to the upside today. 2.5%. As we head into the last couple of hours of trading here on a Tuesday. Hope your afternoon is going well. Let's jump into what we were talking about this morning. So many opportunities. I was just mentioning to someone here that you could have closed your eyes, gone long at the open, and still been long right now and never been in trouble at all this afternoon. Neil is going to kick things off this afternoon with a look at one of his trades.
Thank you very much. Your trade of the day brought to you by Day Trade the World. Get your trading journey started with the capital you need by opening your trading floor. Check out the QR code below, daytradetheworld.com. This is going to be one that I absolutely love here because I want to give full credit to our trading community for this. I liked a lot of things. Well, I liked one thing yesterday to the short side. We had a lot of long opportunities this morning. And I also liked it again today, and that was Alibaba. And that was a great short. Again, Alibaba trending for a couple of days down, but there was something even better. And that is going to be Li Auto. Li Auto absolutely plunging this morning. Now, it was not on my radar, unfortunately, and that's a bit of a mistake. When I go back and look at what this stock has done, just a huge run up, actually doubling up if you go back to May. Li Auto doubling up exactly into 42, lower high resistance at 41, hard rejected. Look at that day. Hard rejecting the breakout yesterday and getting to that 41 level. You come in, and I didn't see this short. Now, we got alerted to this. Someone asked us in the chat, what should I do? I got this Li Auto trade. What are you thinking? What do you think about it? What's going to happen? I pulled it up, and I was like, this feels like a strong bottom. I'm going to give you an idea why. First thing first, if you're looking to catch a falling sword, you're not obliged to do it. Trend does matter. But this was a day where just about everything looked like a fantastic long. So finding things to buy did make sense to me in this case. And we're already into a bunch, so I wanted to add to something. We saw this 36 floor. That's the first thing that stood out to me. The bottom end of the channel has been 36. You've had wick bottoms for most of the times we've tested that level, meaning you've rejected a pull down into that price and bounced off of that level on the higher time frame. And the second and probably more important factor here is, if you look at what happened when you broke this 36 level, this is exactly what I said on the live show. When you broke this 36 level, you had the biggest volume candle event of the day. Now, if you look at that daily chart again, where do you think a lot of stops are going to be? They're going to be sitting right at that 36 level. So you run a ton of stops at 36 on the biggest volume of the day at a time where the market is looking strong and trying to break out. At a harsh bottom like this, that is running stops all the way. You see it reclaim that high. I don't get in front of it. I'm not sitting in front of the falling sword. I allow it to run the stops and then get in on that long. The initial push up was pretty good for a great, actually a little bit better than one-to-one trade. A lot of times I'll target one-to-one, but the push up was actually strong enough to get us a little bit better than that. And then from there, I simply said target 37. And that's just coming back to this other line that we drew out here. If I look at the last time we bounced off 36, The lowest support is 37 even. I'm not thinking home run trade. I'm not thinking, oh, this is going to be counter trend. This is going to go all the way back to that upside. No. Understand that it's been a relatively weak name. It's given you that good bounce. Take it out there at 37. I thought there'd be some chances to get back in when it made this little dip. The market looked like it was going to get weak, but there haven't been any dips back into the moving average or back into that support line. The key thing here is we've been asked a lot of times for trade of the day, does it have to be the biggest trade? Does it have to be a winner or a loser? Sometimes it can be what happens if a stock was not on your radar, but it turns out that it's one of the biggest movers. What can you do when it comes up? Couple of quick things. When in doubt, zoom out, find a key level. If you can't find one, you don't have to trade. In this case, there was. Watch out for that volume spike at the bottom. It indicated a chance at a hard bottom. It also gives me an out at that low of the day. Quick structure of a trade in the moment only takes a couple of minutes to be able to figure that one out, sniff it out, and catch a little bit of a bounce on Li Auto.
Definitely a huge opportunity this morning. That WFG that popped up this morning on some buyout rumors was halted. The midday guys were talking about that. So they're out with a statement basically saying that they are aware of the speculation in the market so far today, but they have received and there are no ongoing discussions for possible M&A activity involving that WFG. So West Fraser back open again. Also saw a note on Activision looking to form a union. So ATVI, apparently some of their employees looking to form a union, popped up on a volume scanner as well. But hey, hope your afternoon is a good one so far. BCTX on decent volume here, a little one, 7.8% back to the upside. But I mean, guys, this market is, wow. It's been impressive, to say the least, all day long. Here we are once again, back to day highs for all three.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's dab it up. Boom, long-term accounts, thank God. I just tweeted that out. Someone was like, oh my God, you were so wrong shorting Apple. And I said, no, my friend, I was completely right shorting Apple and stopping shorting Apple at about 10:48, like we said to you guys. And now we just run some longs. I mean, we've done great today. I mean, this Netflix, we tweeted it out. And welcome to the show, by the way. Thanks for coming to our second go around with Neil and I here today, the morning show, and then the afternoon and the midday with Brad, Ian, and Luca today. But here's Netflix right now. We went long off the sticky note at 190. Like how come I get notes like, oh, your Apple short was wrong, but not the Netflix long? That's $10 in the money. But there it is right there, 190 all the way to the upside. We got out when it broke VWAP, and I even tweeted that out and I just said it out straight up. It's for accountability purposes. I want to be known as accountable for the trades that I give, right? And so I'm not going to say, oh, I'm long here and then not show you where I'm out. We got out right there. I wish we were still long as Netflix takes out 200. What a great move that was. And then I just tweeted this out as well. We were really late to the party, like $4 late or $3 late here on AMD. But as we say, as long as you're well dressed, which I'm not sure I am today, but AMD with a nice move to the upside again, respecting that 50 period. We actually waited for a dip down right there. So we got excited when it broke the high of 85.50. Then we had to wait for it to pull back in to the 50 period, blew that to the upside, and we did get out. I mean, because we put on more shares because it was closer to the 50 period, we did get out a lot of them right here. But then, boom, a good hold here for 55 cents, and now we're $1 in the money on this AMD trade. And then just an update, new trade alert right now. The first time we touched Google all day was right here at 112.60. It fell all the way to 112. We did a great trade there. That's the short, and now we are re-engaged in the short. You can see the price. I have 80s against that 113. So let's see, man. We were giving it 20 cents. So my first target is going to be out at that 20-cent mark. So 112.60. But Neil, the NASDAQ bumping today, up 3%. To be short in front of this market, NEPA. Not a great move there for anybody to be short into this market, but Google's up 3.5%, so it's following the market and at that 113. So let's see if we do have a little bit of a resistance here. But yeah, what a day, what a day.
The timing on that is absolutely perfect, Sean. And I'm only saying that because Sean knew I was trying to hook my earpiece up.
Yeah.
I think I just got it working.
Oh, really?
Like, the second you finish that sentence, I'm like, just got it.
I could have kept going, but
a lot of the perils of live TV. It's working. It's working there. That was unbelievable. Every now and then, like the universe does these things where it's almost like it's perfect. No, like I'm in the other direction in Google, but I got trailed out of this when I kind of looked back at it and said that was a mistake for me. That 111 level that we liked, we broke out from there. I had a short in front of it because we go into resistance, and I'm like contractually obliged to love these kinds of short opportunities there. But once it broke 111, it was just long, it was reloading. I trailed myself out, and then it started holding 112, so I bounced into 112s there. The scalp out was a mistake. The market was range bound on the NASDAQ for like 2 hours, and it was so easy, anything that wasn't still at the high, to sort of trick yourself into thinking it wasn't going back to the upside. I made that mistake. But now we have a chance to break out 113. 113.40 was the target. Oh, you can't go too far when I zoom out there. 113.40 was that target at the open where yesterday at least, where it couldn't get through. We did have one wick up here past that 50 area. This is where I want us to go, about this 113.5. If we get to that price, I'll take the Google trade out. And again, the good thing about day trading, or trading in general, is there's not one way to trade here. Like you can be considering what to do with your long if you're in the money, but like at this point, like if you're flat on the stock, like Sean's looking at a short, if you're flat on the stock, where's the risk to reward? Is it going long at 112.85 when it's got a double top at 113, and as the market's been breaking out, it hasn't broken the high? Is the risk to reward there? I'm not sure. Especially when it's the chips that are leading it. Like you get a chance to be able to scalp it. This is a very different trade being long off 112 than it is shorting off 113, which is working. So that's what we're going to try and give you guys. You know that if you've been here a while, obviously. But yeah, lots to trade here today. Is the market up 3%? Finally, we actually break away from 12,000 on NASDAQ and extend into the afternoon. Now all we got to do is close near these highs. By the way, the chips are stupid strong.
Big moves right across the board. Let's talk IBM. Might be the only one that you could have taken a short off of the open this morning. It's still kind of grinding along the lows right now for IBM. Hi, Neil. And it was all about this cash flow. Shout out to Mr. O'Leary. Warning FX issues going forward going to affect and hurt their cash flow, guys, for IBM.
Cash flow D's, man. I mean, darn it, man. Yo, what's up, Mr. O'Leary? Come on our show. I want to talk to you about your Apple Watch. I want to talk to you about crypto. I saw you on Capitol Hill there. Come on, my friend. Maybe I'll have to email him personally. We have Maggie on the ones and twos there. I'm going to bug her again about that one. But my biggest loser today, the only one really, I mean, we lost on NIO. We're going to review that, actually. I have a stop ready to go short on NIO. I'll talk about that in a minute. As right now, Google pulling back in. We're going to be a dime in the money, a wonderful dime. We'll take out 10% for that spot, and then hopefully get our risk to reward back to 1-to-1 on the downside there. But look, IBM today, we really like that level, 128. Like, I mean, it's written on the sticky note, 128. For some reason, it came back down in there, and I was like, we're dead here. I just didn't like it. It faded all the way down, and when it broke that 128, I got out and then just left it alone. So it's my loser of the day, which is embarrassing because we had the level. I liked the level, and to be honest with you, shouldn't got out this last time right there, but should have given it a little more love down to 128. Or 127.50, something like that. But yeah, IBM's going to be the missed opportunity. It's barcoding here, but as the market's starting to take off, you're still down 6%. It's never a name that I would overload long just because it was down so much. You know, you want to overload the AMDs, the names that are starting to rip, instead of the ones that you think can get back going up. You know, play the momentum and you should win. We got in front of it here. We misstepped on IBM. And why did we like that 128? I mean, it's right here. We talked about it earlier, and it's just right into there, you know, a couple wicks down back in May, and then again at the end of May, back into 128 where it was bought, and that very move down was 125. So on earnings, it continues to be a little bit of a puzzle for me on how to properly play these earnings over and over again. But there's Google today, a nice move to that. That's not going to look good on the 20-minute. If and when I find the 1 minute, we'll look at that. But Google, not good on the 20-minute either because it's still showing all the way down there. So I'll throw it over to Neil and get that adjusted. But right now, AMD is the one that's continuing to make a move higher now, $1.10 in the money.
Yeah, strong moves in these chips. Actually, I've got to put a trail in Micron in a little bit here. But the only thought I had on IBM was maybe if we get a chance to play off of this 200-period moving average on a fade, and then there was one chance to do it. And this is what happens at the open. If it's not on your hit list at the open, good luck getting it. The 15-minute doesn't do this justice.
Google.
The 3-minute chart, there's your pop. It breaks that 131, rejects, at like 32.5 and then comes right back down. So once it's back below, that's a pretty significant breakout through that 50-period moving average. And once it happens, like, you've got to be saying to yourself, well, I mean, this is what I was saying to myself in that moment was, oh, it's gone. It's made a breakout. That short off of the 200-period moving average doesn't work. And then by the time I've even noticed that it's happened, like, what are you, chasing it down to 130? And then it just makes a bottom and then barcode. So the one chance there was to fade off of what I thought was a significant level, again, it has to be on your super high wish list, and it was not for me. We're going to talk about some chip strength, but I'm in Micron, and I'll show you here. This was as AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, everything, basically all of the chips were breaking highs at the moment that Micron had rejected the high and was down around 6180. So I was working, what the hell kind of wick is that? I was working the short on this one off of that 80 level and then against this 62, the lower high, and then was a simple reversal play when it broke. But now I need to trail this because we've broken out the tops. You're starting to go here. You have resistance at 63.75. So I think this is, it's also this double top here from a couple of days ago. So this is a place where I expected it would turn around. I'm going to have a relatively tight trail here at 62.50. And this was just a shot that if the market decided, if the chips decided that they wanted to pull back in, and as far as I was concerned, it was relatively weak. But the second it broke that consolidation, to me, it was a straight shot to go to resistance. Looks like the latter happened. So one of the things I've been trying to do better is, hey, if it's a really good level, then make sure you reverse off it. If it's coiling up into that, sure, there's scalp short trade opportunities, but sometimes you just got to take that long break as well in addition to those shorts. So Micron, it's coming back. The market is making a little bit of a top here, but the chip strength, I mean, like, that's probably the bigger story. Because if you looked at what it took for us to get through the highs, it feels like it was really about those, the chip names started going, and then we finally took out that top. Because for 2 hours, I mean, the guys were doing the midday show, and it was like, we can't seem to take out of this range, and we finally did.
Move for Netflix today. I mean, the whole market obviously going, but 5% here for Netflix into earnings, not typically a catalyst for a big rally, especially for a stock like Netflix that's just been killed. $200 coming to play here. Pretty impressive move back to the upside, guys, ahead, again, of the report coming tonight.
I mean, to say it was a surprise would be a wrong answer because we had the $7, $8 winner on Netflix. Just quickly here, just for Google. Thanks to Rolling Records, everybody talking about this short in the chat. Yeah, I mean, there it is. It goes right back down into the 50 period, and we just started getting some out. So let's see if it can fall back down. We're still into 60% of this. My next bid is going to be 112.50, and then hopefully we can get a fall down here. I'm going to hold the AMD. I'm only in 10% of the AMD trade, so for me, it's really not an issue there on that side. So we'll hold on to AMD and see if that can go. But right now, that's Google. We want to talk about Netflix ahead of earnings, of course. So, you know, the Netflix big earnings call today is going to come through. We're going to see where it goes from here. I mean, it's a big move up to 200. We really had this all day, man. This 190 we had right away off the open. It did dip down to 188. That wasn't enough to get us out for sure. I like the long. We had it yesterday. I mean, the strength of Netflix yesterday was amazing during the beginning of the day, and then obviously the fade happened afterwards. But a nice strong move up to 200. So we thought it could happen again. I mean, I feel like if Netflix doesn't want to go up tonight, fine. But the trade has been great the last couple of days. I mean, we were just at 172 a couple days ago. A couple bump ups. You know that they're going to talk about their new subscription model, hopefully, where there's going to be that ad base, and they're going to tell you. I mean, the rumor was it was Microsoft. I don't know if that got squashed or not. To me, I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter to me at all. But Netflix, off that last earnings, I was talking with Sharif there, the implied volatility on the move is about 15% on this name. So, you know, this is the last time, boom. That was their first missed quarter, right, for revenue, or for subscribers. So it's a little bit misleading on how much of a drop that was. I think that was pretty unexpected. So I'm just thinking today, could we drop back and fill some of these bottoms? Of course. I'm long down here at 172, and I'm just debating taking some out. It's kind of a starter position for Netflix. Like, you know, if I was loaded up, fine, but I am in this for the long term. So Oh man, I mean, unfortunately, we can't trade out of it, while the show's on. That's a policy that we have here on the show. So I'm going to stay in it, and I'm fine with that. It's kind of a Hail Mary on that last little build down there for this. We know Bill Ackman's looking at this name, or has been anyways, and probably still is in it. A nice little move to the upside. Here goes Netflix. I had to, and I talked about this earlier, man. We had to be respectful of our rules, and the minute that broke the 50 period, we got out. So I got to do a little more, and I know I've introduced the 50 period to a lot of you guys on the daily, and then now again here on the minute chart, but it broke it. We tried it. That's the rule. It could have easily fallen back in. It didn't. Could have reloaded at any time. We didn't. I'm wondering if this is a good short here, but hey, we'll still stick with our AMD long and our Google short, but for right now, this Netflix is just on fire, up to 201 now and still burning. So no stopping this name, I think, today.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with the numbers. Now, the good thing for their numbers is that they did, look, the expectations are a heck of a lot lower now than they were back when they missed for the first time on that sub number. I think that gives them some cover. But for all of the strength that it's had, it is worth mentioning. This is easily the second time it's bounced off 160 and then gotten a $200 break. Right, and then it came back to 160. Now you're just essentially breaking to 200. The bottom of the channel for Netflix is about to 207, 208. So think about that for a second. It could go another $5 or $6 from here into the close and not have broken the channel since that disaster 35% down dump day and the day after that. Like, that's pretty significant for it to not be breaking out on a higher time frame. Now, the good part is, it is showing signs of a breakout in other ways here, but everything is going to be about that print. I think volatility is going to be through the roof. I expect to see some serious size being thrown around in the aftermarket, despite the fact that there won't be a ton of liquidity there. For the trade, I just don't think you want to jump in front of this. Like, the market is too strong, and it's still got, despite the fact that 200 level is significant, I think we're sort of saying under breath, we were talking amongst ourselves before we came on, that a 200 short isn't what it felt like, because if you looked at the daily chart, there was so much room above that price. It didn't feel like you'd have the wall there, and it turns out that ended up being true. So I'd be careful with any kind of a short in Netflix today, this afternoon.
What a move for some of the cruise lines once again today. Second day in a row here. If you missed it yesterday, the CDC came out and said they were lifting their COVID protocols or their COVID program for these cruise operators, which was one of the major reasons why, obviously, COVID itself, we got such huge moves to the downside for this entire group. So 2 days in a row here, big moves back to the upside for all of the cruise lines today.
Look, we had, I'm going to continue to pin this. It's been a request of a lot of you right there. We've already said CCL long here today at $10. So we had the trade. It's a big banger for us. It's one of my top trades today. Unfortunately, we're not in it still, but boom, boom, boom. We have the top tick already, but it's right back there right now. We got out of the last 5% there. We didn't hold much of this, man. You can see all the outs that we had once it broke. At that time, it must have been the 50 period or something down here. I don't recall exactly when that was. It must, or VWAP, I guess, down there once it broke. So it broke. We got out there at 10.20 or so out of this last long at 10.11, but we marked it down. I don't know if I just showed it to you. I think I did. 10.15 right there. So there's the long. COVID easing long yesterday off the high. So there it is. There's the high of 10.15. I say exactly what I'm doing there, and there it is right now. I don't mean to be long here, Neo. Actually, that is a reminder. I'm supposed to be short now, Neo. We should have been short a hell of a... I canceled. Okay, so... I wanted this short on this break right there, or that retest back up there at 27.28, and completely forgot about NIO. I mentioned that as we came on the show. Remember, I was like, I'm looking for Neo shorts, and we missed it. No! That's going to happen.
It's funny you say that.
I'm going to, are you short Neo?
No, not
Neo.
Baba. And maybe it's a coincidence, but these two names, Neo and Alibaba, there were some opportunities when these kind of reversed near at the same time. Like when Neo took out $20, was about the same time Baba was getting it back above that 103. But Baba did retest that 105 level that I've been sort of enamored with lately. It got to 104.78. I didn't really get I didn't get any offers in there in front of 105, but then it came right back to this 104.50 level, which has been pretty good and consolidates. So bit of a breakout. The market's at highs. Been picking on Alibaba a little bit here. I did want to, because we got to go over some trades, but I got a couple. I'll get to two of them. One that I'm already in, and that's going to be Twitter, where my stop is at 39.50. Now there was a news story that came out, and I want to make sure I get it right there. Actually, Brennan had it, but positive news story in terms of I think Twitter, the negotiations getting pushed up.
Yes.
Not postponing. Sorry, not negotiations, not postponing the court date.
The judge. The judge.
The proceedings.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
A big volume spike on Twitter, broke 40, got to 40.5, and then I just started scalping the retracement. So it turned into this like scalping, longs in front of 39.60. That worked right back into like 40.20 or so. I then started reloading, and then it stopped working. I ended up getting stopped out when it broke 50. I jumped back into the trade when it bounced here, got a little bit out in the 70 range, and then it looks like we'll get stopped out as it's breaking 50 right now. So Twitter, and again, it's turned into one of these things where if it holds a support level, I like it. But this is now starting to do the other thing, where it's breaking resistance as opposed to what I would like to see, which is it bouncing off of VWAP. So I'm out. Obvious stop. Since the news came out, it had been able to hold at 39.50. We're now below that. I wanted to make sure I got that to you guys as it was happening before the stop. And then I just got into Ford. I don't think we're going to talk about this one. Ford's super 5%, and it's been holding above 12.55 VWAP all day long. I've been sitting on the bid in front of 60s for a while now. I guess I could have pulled back to like 55 or something, but I think this is just one where if we're holding VWAP, I think scalping it toward the high of the day on the relative strength that it's showing is going to make some sense to me. So we'll just go with that one. And then I just trailed out of Micron here. Micron with, look at this capitulation candle. So we're able to get we're about to get those highs, and then we threw a trailing stop on Micron saying we don't want to give it up if it goes there. So a 62 and a 62.5. Be a solid trade, but there was no follow-through. It looked like we were going to get through that high, but the market's starting to turn. Micron, the weaker of the chip names, starting to turn around.
I need to, don't go to Brendan quickly here. I just want to update something because I got an update here. Google's not going to work on the short. We just reloaded the short, but look at the market pulling back in, Google pulling up. So we are going to get out here on a 113 break, which I'm completely fine with. It's stronger. This is how you got to trade. Like, you go short here, we hit the short. It's great. Like, this short is 65. That out is 11. So it's all good, man. All good in the hood. But if it starts to rip up to the high side, when it starts to go against what you're thinking. So I'm thinking that 113 can hold against the market. But look what the market's doing. The market's coming down. You can see that right here. So with that being said, that leads me to say, hey, if this market's going down and Google's going up, we're in the wrong name if we're looking for shorts. So that's going to be something there. I'm really, like, I'm not on tilt because we're having a fantastic day, but we could have even had a better one. I cannot believe that I missed this short here on NIO. I wanted some shorts heading into the close, and I wanted weak names, and I can't find any weaker. I'm glad Neil was talking
any chip name right now.
A little bit about BABA. I'm still long AMD.
McConnell won't vote to proceed on the chips bill at this stage.
That's a minute ago?
Yeah, that's what trailed me out on Micron.
Okay, I mean,
and
I guess
Intel back to VWAP in like a heartbeat. Intel's it just broke $40 on Intel.
Yeah, I guess I can get out there then. I mean, AMD there. I mean, it did break the 50 period. Okay, let's get out and respect that story there right now. Yeah, because if that's going to be what it is, that's what it is. Maybe we'll go to Brendan for that.
It's Intel getting hit the hardest right now, guys. Huge volume coming into Intel, back through 40. Again, if you missed it, Mitch McConnell just saying they won't vote to proceed on the chips bill at this stage. Remember, we were expecting it to happen. I mean, some people were saying today, but there was no guaranteed time or date. But Mitch McConnell just saying, yeah, they won't vote to proceed on the chips bill at this stage. So INTC, I mean, it's still up 3%, but coming in pretty hard here.
She's saying this, and this is Sean and I were just talking over this, and one of the things that I could have done, because I've been sort of saying Intel's probably going to get hit the hardest if that was the news that came out. So what you could do is have some kind of, because alert's not going to cut it, right? Like, you'll be punching way too late. So what you can do is you can have like some kind of like a trailing stop when you're not in a long position, meaning if you get a sizable pullback, or you can manually do it yourself, as I sit here in front of, like, I'm not even getting 40s on any, there's no pullback here or bounce here to be able to short. But you could just have like a stop trigger at all phases of the day. Like here, you'd be sitting there with a trigger at 40.5, and then every single time it breaks down, just in case this happens, you're triggered in. Now the downside to that is, you could get wicked into a trade for some other reason other than the vote that happened. But it's almost impossible to react to some news like that unless you are an algorithm which is plugged into like the API at a Bloomberg terminal or an Icon terminal. And
You're not an algorithm?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, it'd be nice. I wish I was a robot sometimes.
That's part of the problem is you trade
Yeah.
against these robots that hit the trade as soon as the news comes out.
And look at it continue to fall. And it's like,
Look at Neo. Oh
this
my
is one
God.
that it'll kind of burn me because all week I was sort of saying this is the one that's going to fall the furthest, and I got nothing on the short side. I can't chase this trade here because just because they don't vote it now doesn't mean it's dead.
Bro, it's all chips, I think, too. Like, you're good by getting out a Micron. Look
They're
at
all
it.
pulling back, but I just think Intel's going to have the biggest percentage pullback here. I think it might be able to defend these lows. That's why I can't really endorse going short here. I'll probably take a look at the 39 long. Might just be a case of too much, too fast. But yeah, there you go. Nancy piled into NVIDIA. How much you want to bet some of those longs got covered?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the thing is,
I'm being facetious.
Like, what's up with Mitch McConnell, man? I mean, we're not trying to be political here, but come on, man, help out some of these chip names, and let's just vote whatever way makes them go up. But regardless, man, AMD's up 5% today. It's been a monster day for AMD, but there's the cover at 86. We brought you the news live. Neil saw it right on the news watcher there. And here at Day Trade the World, we do have a news feed, so that does give you the opportunity to check out different stocks and see them as they come through. But Brennan, with the Icon terminal there. There's the out on AMD, so we'll just go diamond hands because we were trying to have those diamond hands until that news came through. So there it is. We did get out at 75 a little bit there when it came down to the 50 period on this trade, but here we go again, man. If this market, which it's going to do right now, is go up because it looks like we're trying to now make a little bit of a move here upside. You could see Google just one little tick up, and this name's like, see ya, right back up to the upside. So this, I am fully aware. That's why we started to get some out. I actually had some more lower there. That this name could be in trouble here, Google, against that high of the day of 113. So we're ready to go, man. I have the offers ready to go to get out if this does go. And in fact, I'm going to take 10% more out here at 91. There it is. So we'll take another fill there through 91 and just take another piece out for a 10-cent hit. As I do anticipate this to try at least look at 113 again, and if that happens, then we are squashed out on Google there. But so far, so good. Let's wait to see where we go on GOOGL, testing that 113.
More comments from McConnell, guys. He's saying, at this time, I will not vote to move forward with this CHIPS bill. I'll decide on the CHIPS bill as it develops. So sounding pretty, sounding pretty definite on his comments right now. Let's talk about AMC. I mean, Apple's having a better day. AMC a little bit choppy, kind of back and forth, gapped up. Didn't really do much, going sideways for the most part. But analysts a little more positive this time around going into earnings for AMC, which is not until the first week of August.
I was going to say, yeah, next month we get AMC earnings. But there is a translation to that whole, like, until the bill develops, i.e. take the pork out of it. And then
Bacon.
I love bacon.
I love bacon.
But it doesn't work for getting things passed. So that's as political as we'll get. Look, the AMC breakout trade was good. The dip buy wasn't. There you go. 17, it could not get through 18. Trying to recapture that magic didn't work. And now it's taken out the low of the day. It actually feels in some ways like it should be shorting AMC or should have shorted AMC when it took out this afternoon support at 1685. And I said this morning, kind of half-cocked and joking about it, but it's just been true every single time I've done this. If I trade GameStop, if I look at AMC and GameStop and think they look decent both for setups and pick one, the other one's the one that goes. And this again has happened today. So GameStop with the catalyst, of course, of the split that's coming. Yeah, the split coming on Friday. Like, this one had easily the better trading opportunity, I would say. And that's because it gave you multiple shots off 150. Like, the break worked off that 150 area, and then it dipped off this 150, gave you another push into the high of the day. It dipped a second time, rejecting a wick down at 150, and then still gave you $2 or $3 there. So the structure of the trade was just a little bit more clean. Eventually, it broke down the same way through that 150. You've always kind of known where you're wrong, and it's been when it's failed to hold a bid below that 150 level. Yeah, we're at the lows now, but I just feel like that one would have been a little bit cleaner to catch multiple trades in. All that being said, going to get over to what is moving here. Just quickly, I got into that Alibaba trade, but it has yet to roll over. Until we break 104.25, then I'll start getting some shares out in front of that 104, going back into the well and rinsing and repeating. The market doesn't seem to want to take out the top. Clearly, the reaction from that bill is going to help some of the shorts, because if they drag the markets with it, then if you've got something in front of resistance to the short side, it might start to work here. But yeah, AMC was, sometimes you should just hit it and quit it, man.
I like it.
Yeah, that's what it was this morning off 17. It was, if you hit it and quit it, great. All I did is give back half of the trade that I made in the pre-market. That's all that ended up happening by going to it a second time.
You might have heard it. Okay, you wanted Henry. Here it is. Ba-ba-ba. Bang. As here we go, man. It's Google time. I mean, again, like, you want to talk about day trading, scalping. You know, I don't want to say, like, this is the way. You know, this is the way here. What does the Mandalorian says? This is the way? No, it is the way. Or no, this is the way. Yeah. But here for Google.
Same thing.
What is it? Yeah. What is it though? It is the way.
Now you have
remember.
me confused.
Yeah, you're the self-proclaimed nerd, man. What is it? It is. What does the Mandalorian say, guys?
This is the way.
This is the way. I think it is. This is the way.
Or is it? It is. You know what? Now I'm not sure.
Now we're confused.
You got it in my head.
If I've got you a little stumped there, I feel pretty proud. But okay. So, anyways, what I'm getting at.
Okay, it is this.
It is this, right? It is this. Okay, it is. I thought it was as well, but that was a little tongue twister there. But anyways, regardless of what way you're looking, Google, I just lucky there. The market did fall. I mean, didn't even really fall. But Google, again, look at this reload right there at 98. We reloaded it. Then we just got a piece out there at 77. Some more pieces here in the low 80s. So this is not a super sexy trade. And talking about not super sexy trading. Hold on a second here. Let me get this going out for you right now. You know what? Like, I want to hold. We're still in 60% of this, and it's just a matter of trade your own book. Like, we don't disclose what kind of size we're using and so on and so forth, but I really think Google can drop down, break this. But again, it's pretty strong right now. The market has pulled back about, what, 0.5% or so, and Google's at the high of the day. So, you know, that's a little bit of concern for me on this short, but, you know, we'll watch out for it. Yesterday, that's right. Yesterday, we had some Google highs of that 114. So we're still here. Today's going to be 113. Let's see if it can respect it right now. But Google to the downside here. I'm hoping. Let's see. Here we go. So again, you know, we're short. We're only in the money 15 cents here. But hopefully this is the way, Neil, and we can get this to the downside.
This is the way, and the way is down on, well, we saw what happened with the chip. So I didn't chase Intel. I mean, now it feels like I'm chasing it, but below VWAP, below 40 even. Like, if you don't, like, if I'm not going to get that at like 20s or 30s or on the way down, when it bounces in front of 39 and comes back into 40, then that's the way we'll have to play it. So, you know, I'm going to regret this and sort of think back about what was the best way to get involved in this after that news came out. But for now, it's just going to be shorting in front of VWAP and 40. There will be some scalping because it's Intel. Realistically, Intel, that like $1.50 move on Intel, that's about as big as you're going to see intraday. So, you know, in a secondary push, you might start to think 10, 30, 40 cents, like those types of things. 20, I kind of missed 20 in there. My daughter does that all the time. To speed things up, when she's counting to 100, she'll just like.
Oh yeah, you start skipping by tens.
Yeah, she'll cut by 10, but then she'll skip a few so it can go faster. Anyways, I just did that. But anyways, 10, 20, 30. This is what I'll be thinking for the secondary play. I did miss the first one on Intel. That's a bit of a swing and a miss. Clearly, we knew they'd be affected by it the worst. But we're into it now. It's going to drag these markets down. But like you said, some stocks are working. I'm going to get to the point pretty quickly about thinking about where I need to trail the Google stock. Google on its move. Come on, chart, load up for me here. Because every single time we get to this top, this is not one test or two tests at 113. This is 5 times in the last like 15 minutes that we've tested 113 and pulled back off of it. There's a good part of me that's saying, I don't actually have to put a trail. I could get out at 90, and if I like the long, just find a way back into it on a dip. Like, this is a lot of rejection at that 113 price, almost on a dime. The only shorts I got on are Intel, news-based, BABA, relatively weak. But the other way to think about the market reversing is to start covering longs, not just getting into short positions. So, you know, I'm not going to let this go all the way back. I do have a trail at 50. I'm thinking about making this one a little bit tighter, or even just getting out in the 90s if it gives it to me again.
All right. As we were saying here, Google which way this is the way, and there's been a lot of talk here about which way is this is the way. The way is down apparently here. So let's see if it can come. There it is. Yes, we just got a 77. So we just, I mean, this is. Look, for me, this is a good trade. So let's see if we can keep going to the downside here. I'm going to now cancel my 65 and see if we can get a 50 bid. If we can get a 50 bid, then that will be all good here for Google. So let's see if we can continue to go to the downside right now. And this is power hour, so let's start balling out. Apparently, the Raptors have moved in to position 1 for KD right now.
But they demanded.
They want Scotty. I don't know if we're going to give it up. I would push that button for Scotty Barnes. I mean, if you're going to get
obviously.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't want to do it, man. A lot of people in Toronto say we don't want to give up the Rookie of the Year. But I mean, I'm like, yo, you can get KD, baby. I think you should do that. The problem with Kevin Durant is, of course, the guy's a head case. And the thing is that he could just all of a sudden say, I don't want to play in Toronto. And then you've given up Scotty Barnes and all this. And then, you know.
Hold on a sec. See, here's the thing about Toronto. The only championship we got, how did it happen? How long was Kawhi Leonard here? End of story, man.
No, but I'm just saying.
That's how we're going to win a ship.
Oh, no, I want to do the play.
Yeah,
I want to do it. I'm just saying that.
I'm hating this day.
Part of the problem is, of course, is that contracts and where you sign them don't mean anything anymore. And that's the problem. And that's fine. This is not going back and forth. It's just, that is the problem. I want that to happen for the Raptors. I would love Van Fleet, Siakam, Kevin Durant, like, let's go.
So, I mean, just so you guys know, one, I did just decide to trail it to Google. I should have taken it at the 90s, but I tightened up the trail in the trail, so I'm going to be gone in that one. And I just got a little bit out on Intel, as well as that starts to head back into the downside. I got to clean up the chart because it's skewed by this 3650, but it did make a move to the downside again off of that 40 level. I got Fahad in my ear talking about how Durant's not a leader.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm like, okay. I mean, look, realistically, Kawhi's not the type of leader that some of these other guys that are alphas on other teams are. He's just a fantastic player, and the Raptors have a great leader in their coach. So I think that can work out just fine for them overall. I'm perfectly okay with us getting KD. That's all. I would love to get. Now KD. I'm going to let it go. I want to go to. There is one name I want to come to here very quickly. I haven't made a single execution on this one today, but Tesla. If you're looking for things that are, look at these dark pool wicks, that are relatively strong. Tesla made an all-world bottom at 710, and then in the afternoon held that 720 I love so much, at that level I love so much. And then another stock coming all the way back to the morning high and then rejecting it with a top wick. If you want to know why we're not breaking out, blame it on the chips. Blame it on the big names that can't get through the high. Like Google at that 113 just keeps on rejecting it. Tesla rejects its top at 740 as well. So I feel like it's great that we're up 3%. Tesla's not quite up that much, but if we don't make another run at these highs or one of these big names starts breaking out, it's going to be difficult for the market to get back to those highs, especially with the chips getting dragged down. It's hard to imagine, as strong as AMD and NVIDIA have been, that after that delay, are we really going to get all the way to the high of the day on those? It'd be huge strength that we did. But keep in mind, you saw what just happened in Intel. You saw the trail out on Micron. Not as much of a fall on AMD. Not as much of a fall on NVIDIA. In fact, that might have actually been a buying opportunity on each of those names. I'll be kicking myself for that. And the reason for it is they don't benefit from this bill as much because it's about actually fabricating, building chips, not just designing them. You're only going to get subsidies if you're building them on American soil. And that's what Intel does. And it's kind of an unfair bill as it's constructed right now because it's not fair for those two names to get a bunch of money, like $20, $30 billion out of it, and then NVIDIA and AMD get absolutely nothing, potentially, as it is crafted.
Yeah, I wish I would have saw that, man. I didn't even reload that, but if you're going to blame it on something, you might as well blame it on the rain. So Blame It on the Rain, a great tune there. One of my favorites growing up. I remember I did a little
CD.
Yeah, I probably do have the CD as well on that one.
Should sue them.
There's so many good tracks, man. Those guys aren't messing around, or are they?
Rest in peace.
Milli Vanilli.
One of the guys.
I think one of them is.
Yeah,
not both.
one of them.
But weren't they
killed
twins
himself.
or something? Or
I don't know if they were twins, but it's a really sad story. And I remember reading an article. I was like, man, that's pretty sad what happened to those guys.
Bad direction there.
They're like Hoosiers.
Yeah, they're pretty epic there. Blame It on the Rain. If you don't know Milli Vanilli, then you are probably younger than 30, maybe. I don't know. Seems like they're pretty old, but I like that. Don't forget my number. I mean, there's so many sick tracks on Milli Vanilli. So shout out to Milli and Vanilli right there. So all right, let's go. Still going on, obviously, as we're sitting here talking. We can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop right now. So let's just keep going. Google, a nice move to the downside there. I blame it on the rain, blame it on Powell and Brendan. Todd McAfee would like to do that. So, Brendan, it's on you, baby, right there. But I don't know what we're blaming because right now we are on fire. So let's just keep going there. There we go. We'll take another out there. Got a little jiggy with it right there on Google. Let's try to hold for that bottom. But again, we're only in 40% of these last couple takes here. So at Google coming back down into that downside. We did reload, and unfortunately we didn't reload enough because AMD did have some possibilities here of taking that 86.50 right there. We should have had it. We weren't doing it. We were too involved with this Google trade and looking at AMD, or not looking at AMD, but really just looking at Google, listening to some of these topics here. But I didn't get to talk too much about AMC here earlier, but we did take that top, and then now it's down here near the bottom. So I mean, we did talk about it, but we didn't really look at some of these lower levels, like 1620. I think you can try that. You have this bottom of 1580 here. That's pretty interesting. So again, you know, if this market does fall down, we've got a couple names that we like better than AMC, but down into here 1580, and I don't think it's going to happen yet, but if and when it does, you know, we'll be there to sit there. I want to pick some up, so I don't want to short it into there. I kind of want to go long near 16-ish. So let's try that for AMC. Google still to the downside. AMD coming back in. So I will test it one more time. Look where we bounced off of right there on that move down. We were good to get out, but we were not good because we didn't reload. That's 85.60. So I'm going to now hold on to this trade. This is 20% of what this trade was right here. So because we realized we missed that move back up. So let's hold on to this. We will reload. We'll put on the same amount of position that we had here if it comes back to 85.60, 85.70, but we'll average into a dumping off spot of 85.50. So we're going to be wrong on this name until 85.50 prints, okay? So that's the plan here for AMD as we head into power hour, but we're still 15 minutes away. Unfortunately, Neil, as everybody knows,
What?
Today is supposed to be what day?
You confused me. What day is today? I don't know.
It's a Tuesday.
Oh, Turnaround Tuesday? No.
Close.
Taco Tuesday? Oh, nope. See, why you gotta spoil the vibe? The market's up 3%,
I know.
And you gotta remind me that we don't have Tony today.
I know, because right now it was supposed to be the...
Boo, Sean. You just killed now I'm sad.
Do that again. I like that. Let's do that. I want to be happy again. Let's do that again. Yeah, buddy. But the thing is, we all got blessed with Tony's presence yesterday as he filled in for Luca.
True.
So today it is not. There he is. What's up?
Supposed to only give good news.
All right.
Sean.
He ain't there, Fod.
Good news.
Yeah. So there it is right there. We go. The Tuesdays with Tony not happening because that guy is busy kicking ass and taking names over there on the other side. So we'll talk to Tony a little bit later. Maybe I can.
He's still alive. The other side means he's just in the back office.
Yeah. Well, Sean killed Tony. No, Darwin. Quite the opposite.
Like the other side.
I trying to revive Tony, but unfortunately the boss man,
Tony's good.
he has other business. Apparently he gets paid a salary to do things other than this. So we're kind of stuck without Tuesdays with Tony for a bit.
We'll figure it out without him. He still rings the bell, which is great. But look, he was great, and he still is great, and it's fantastic, and we're blessed to have him on every now and then. That's why we love different perspectives around here. Just gonna ring the register another one time. We'll do this one for a quick second because Intel bounces once again off that 40, rejects the 40 break, jump back in, get some 95s, and then just gonna rinse and repeat. It looks like it's going to be a scalp trade. The 20 cents, maybe not the 30s and the 40s have been coming in. Baba's still kind of working here. I mean, it keeps rejecting that 104.50, but not much of a plunge, and I feel like this is because I'll just go right over the futures here. Like, we've rejected the top and we started to come back on the NASDAQ, but when you look at us breaking out from the week's range, we're still above the top end of the range. So it might actually take us coming down another 20 or 30 points, reclaiming 1220 or something before some of the tech names go. And it's a similar story over here in the ES. Like, this is not me telling you that the market's going up in the futures, but if you look at the break from last week's highs, we're still above that breakout even with the pullback. So maybe that's why you're not seeing a huge follow through for those shorts, despite the fact that some of them have been working out here. So we'll probably need that. breaking down below some of those levels. It's like 39.20 or so on the ES and the NASDAQ at 12.2 to get some follow through on some of the short trades here.
Yeah, I'm going to, just by accident there, well, not by accident, AMD's coming in here. It is no accident, but we don't want to lose. So we're 30 cents in the money right now. Kevin Durant balling right there on great free throw shooter. Kevin Durant again, 7-footer.
Just great shooter in general.
7-footer. Isn't that his idea? His thing is something shooter, I think his... the
greatest 7-foot shooter ever?
Twitter handle. What, Andrea Bargnani? Okay, all right, so here we go to the downside. Fahad knows Andrea Bargnani.
Just because you're Italian doesn't mean you have to
You don't know Andrea Bargnani?
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting PTSD.
You don't have to.
I got it. Okay, yeah.
What a great first overall pick that was.
Wow. Was that your boy Isaiah Thomas there? That guy's a nightmare. Okay, let's just go here. Charles Oakley. Yeah, no, Charles Oakley is great. What are you talking about? I don't know. Fod's just hearing too much in the background here. All right, let's go. Here we go. Another move downside for. I'm not going to get anything out, but Google is touching the bottom here of 112.60 coming through. That is a spot. One more time down there. Easy money sniper. That's what it is. Thanks, Ben, for sure. Yeah. The other thing about Kevin Durant, I mean, look, we could sit here and honestly talk sports all day, and there has been some requests for that, by the way, is that another reason to love Kevin Durant is he also trolls people. Like, he has burner accounts. Like, the guy has $500 million or something and is running burner accounts against his fans. It's kind of funny, to be honest with you. I mean, whatever, immature, funny, same thing, I guess. But nice little move down there for that. So let's just continue. Oh, what I want to get to was my mistrade here was NEO, because I really felt like that was a great short. If it happens again, man, like, I'm sleeping at the wheel. All these 50 periods, we should be respecting those. So maybe we can short again if it comes to 2020. Easy money sniper, Brendo.
Little one moving around, guys. That's the watch list. Hi. SC Works just popping up here on. Do I have to shut that off? There we go. And you get the watch list. SC Works just popping up on a new deal with Integrated Delivery Network Company in the U.S. So little one, WORX on heavy volume here.
The Works.
Invite KD on the show.
Yeah.
Squeeze the cheese. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what am I supposed to tweet at everybody? Like, if you have KD's agent or something like that, I would love to get this dude on the show. We did have Michael Carter Williams.
Former Rookie of the Year, Michael Carter Williams.
Yes, Fahad.
By the way,
we had Michael Carter Williams from the Orlando Magic on the show.
Mr. Triple Double.
Mr. Triple Double. Did he get one eventually?
Well, no. He got a little, but he got a lot of triple doubles.
The very first game.
Good guess.
Everyone thought he was the next LeBron.
So what you guys aren't realizing, if you're not in the chat, you're not watching along, Fahad is chirping nonstop right now. Like, he's into the sports talk. That's why you're hearing us engage. You can't hear him on the program, and you've never even seen his face, but he is on our production crew. And he's a huge...
Does he exist?
He's a huge basketball fan. So the second we started talking basketball, essentially Fahad has been either in our ears or just chirping from the bleachers over there.
I have a new nickname for him, the Capri Kid.
That's a fair nickname.
So I think that's a good one there, the Capri Kid.
That's very fair, because
and there's nothing wrong with wearing capris. I'm just saying this man does wear them. That's all. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you said there's nothing wrong with wearing capris.
That's my opinion.
I didn't say that.
On the Capri love there. But okay, let's just let's keep going. Baba short. I really like that short for Neil there. I don't even know if it's working, but I just saw it on the board. I really like that. CCL here already made some day highs. I know there was some call outs for CCL off of 1040 there. That probably, that was a great call out there. I will go back and trash talk myself a bit, because Apple, I won't. I mean, we stopped shorting. I got called out on Twitter. And look, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here for everybody. Like, it's not about getting called out. It's about really being justifiable with your trades, right? And it was right here. We went back and forth. So I'm going to put this guy on blast right here, like KD style. What's up to Hugh James, Cal? Awful call on Apple short. Horrible. You were pounding the table all AM, man. Thanks. FYI, I was long. Yeah, and then I just came back and was like, great trade, man. I'm glad you're long. I'm glad that's there. But I got away from Apple at 10:45. We stopped trading it, and we made money on the short. So that just goes to show you, James, or I think it was Hugh James there. I mean, again, I'm down for that. Like, I don't mind being like, if my trades don't work out, then let's go. Like, I'm here, and I don't have a problem with any of that kind of talk. And you're right. I mean, some days when you're going to put out every single day 4 or 5 ideas, right? And then today they're going to go, 1, 2, 3. IBM was right, but I didn't follow it. 4. We're going to go 4 for 4 today. When you're going to throw stuff out like that, sometimes, you know, some of the levels aren't going to be great. And the other thing I want to talk about too is that for those of you that are just watching now for the first time, Neil and I are flat at the end of every single day. So, you know, these calls are really just sort of like AM calls. You could try to play them the rest of the day, and I need to do work on that, is look to see where are these calls an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours after open, right? And so that's the thing. I'm not making calls for options or anything like that. It's a simple day trade. And I mean, we've had now, I think we had one losing day last week, which was Monday. Since then, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 straight positive days to go with 13 before that. So we're going to go 19-1 our last 20 days. So, you know, I guess.
He's a good shooter, man. So I actually just found out from Brendan there. I didn't think we got through the rundown completely. It's 2:55. Apple
there was one
on
left.
You mentioned it was. I think it was Apple.
Oh, it was Apple. Okay.
At the very bottom. Maybe Brendan will nod his head. I think it was, and you were just talking about Apple. So one of the things that I always come back to and watch out if I'm going to give 10 cents or start taking profit on Intel 10 cents from that 40. As it breaks here at 40.10, I'm going to stop out just above it as well. So I don't want to turn that into too much of a short the bounce and then just sit in it all day long. It's going to stop out probably in a cent or two here if it goes any higher. But Apple. Every time I see this, I kick myself. It doesn't matter why I liked longs on this day on Apple in front of 148, like buying dips in front of 148 on Apple, going back to, last week on Friday. But I did like it. And sometimes when in doubt, zoom out. And then today, we were shorting off of that level. Now, as Sean said, once it broke out of there was reason to get away from it. But what I kind of don't like about this, for myself at least, is, and I'm going to get rid of this line now because who cares? I don't really need it anymore. If I liked that long before, then why is it? I have to ask myself, then why didn't I like the reversal at that price? If I thought that was good enough support on Friday, we breached on the bad news and are going to reclaim it after not taking out the lows. If it doesn't break the low, there's only one place for it to go when there's bad news. Bad catalyst, it holds 146.5. The short off 148 is good. It will not break 147, unfortunately. So there's a limited amount of downside. And then it breaks back up. That's a reversal. So no, like I'll give you that right there. Like 148, as good as short it was off the open, that 100% should have been reversed. That was stupid not to. If I liked it for a while before, I'm not going to do it when there's bad news. But when it puts on the recovery, you want to take that trade if you can get it. That stop on Intel, it's 3 cents away. It could stop me out here. We'll see if it happens. I kind of said that in advance because it was on the offer and about to. Ford here, I got the ad on top of VWAP. So 50 is going to be the out. If the market takes out the high, it's a relatively strong stock. I want to see if this can get back toward those highs. Ford been a runner all morning. However, it is barcoding and giving you bounces toward the high of the day. I'm just looking for that little bit of a play. I want to go back over to Tesla because as we're bouncing back to the upside, it's important to remember what's carrying us higher. Tesla back toward that 740. I'm going to check in on Microsoft, and you're going to see the above 258. That's a good sign. So Softy, this 258 level here, I was actually short off this during the midday show, and then it stopped out. This should have been a breakout trade. So 258 on Softy, a pretty big level. We just rejected the breakdown at 258. If we're going to take fresh highs, this becomes an interesting long. That's a wick off bottom, and we're talking about that for the trade of the day. When you make a bottom on volume like this, so reclaiming the 258 level on a huge volume spike, and then ripping up, yeah, I'm going to like the long off of that level now for Microsoft. It was a short till it wasn't, and right now it isn't. Maybe this is what can get us to that high of the day, Brendan.
Just saw NBAX popping up on volume here, guys. They had a deal earlier, extended manufacturing agreement with SK Bioscience down here. This just out, though. CDC advising Novavax COVID vaccine for adults. So 18 and over, getting the thumbs up from CDC advisory panel. But I guess a little bit unexpected, possibly. Back to the downside for NBAX.
Okay, nice. By the way, again, one more time, we are, oops, wrong button there because we are not diamond handsing this one. We are just reloaded. That happened there. It is. Yeah, it did happen there. So we are now officially reloaded into this name. Here we go again, man. All over this, we have our friend Google just went to 113 one more time. So that's going to be a little level for us to look at here on Google off this level. So that's something that we're looking at here. 113. We've talked about that. There's the reload. We just got another piece out at 82 when it just did, or 85, whatever it was there, as it just dipped back down in 85 there on Google. But here we go. It is going to blow to the upside, and that will be that for Google. But look what else. We're not getting stopped out over here, not on AMD anyways. AMD to the upside right now. We just took a piece out at 86 off that average blended price now of 84. So we do have a decent shot here on Google, on AMD at 84. We just took a piece out. That was a reloaded level right there. Again, if it comes back in and breaks 85.50, we're gone. But I like our chance here on this name. So that is obviously going to be AMD reloaded there at 75, took a piece out at 86. So again, like all we're sort of doing right now, we're not trying to drop too many bombs, man. All we're trying to do is this one. Stack the cash as we hit our buttons here to go a little longer in this market. Not go longer, but keep this market going. Keep getting printed out. Keep making that cash. We can watch this together here. Netflix is well above 200, not going anywhere. I hate you, Neo. We should. IBM I really do hate, but I still am red on Neo as well. And then the other name that I'm red on is Neo and IBM. That's it. 2 red names today, 7 green names. But there's Google. And we can watch this together. I don't want to waste people's time. It keeps coming to 113 right there. That's not a hell of a lot of size at all. So I'm definitely not like counting the chickens here before they hatch. I believe this is going to break. And I'm not playing off the size whatsoever. I'm just playing, I might as well finish talking about it because I feel like this is going to break. But I'm just playing off that 113 high. We've done it numerous times. This could break right now, and it doesn't. It'll hurt because we're short here at 96, so we'll take a 5, 6, 7 cent hit with slippage. But other than that, man, we've really hit this trade pretty good off this 113. So hey, if it breaks, and we're fine with that one. We still have the AMD long, and we will look for more shorts. It sucks though because I keep saying I like your BABA trade. I don't even know if it's working out. It's not doing anything.
The problem is I won't take the scalp trade that it's giving to me.
Yeah,
which
it's
is,
not
that's
doing.
Probably,
yeah, I feel like it should go down.
I might have to consider just taking, like, if it gives me like 20 cents, just I start taking that trade. But I want to get to. Someone mentioned Coinbase or asked about Coinbase in the chat, and I don't want to ignore the stock. We never want to ignore you guys here. And I'm in some trades. I got my stops filled. I got my areas loaded. So Coinbase was a great breakout. It broke the 50 period. It got above that 62 level. The trade I liked was waiting for 63 yesterday's high, so I scalped that into like 65. So 65 right now does feel like it was, it rejected 65 when I was in the long and then held the breakout price at 63. So if it holds above 65 or at that 65, you can have a good channel still to the upside. But if this market is just barcoding off of the highs, and when you look at what happened in crypto there, you're still breaking out in Bitcoin. Like, we're still in the upward trend. Now, I know Ether is kind of found a bit of a top, but Bitcoin's following through. So I kind of been expecting to have a little bit of follow through here on Coinbase. I'm a little bit discouraged by the stop out in Intel just came through, by the way. I'm a little bit discouraged by the fact that you're not really holding back above the 65. So I think any kind of a dip, and you're going to have rejection at 65 even. 63 is where you want to buy into it. It's already held it broke out. It's already held once. It's close enough in front of VWAP that I think you can maybe stick a dip buy in with an hour to go. We're going to run out of time for that kind of a scalp trade to come in at some point. But if there is a big rejection at 65, which it feels like could be the next shoe to drop, I'd be looking at 63s. It's a huge day for Coinbase. And don't lose sight of the fact that it's a big rally both in Ether, nice little break on Bitcoin, and you reclaim the 50 period. It could be the start of something. And tomorrow I'll probably be looking longs above 63 if we get a chance to be able to grab it. But I said I'd stop out on Intel. There it is. That's a stop on the reload on Intel. Looks like that move might be done, but that's not where I would want to go long. If I take a long in the chips, it would have to be where there's strength, although I feel that ship might have sailed. The chance to get in on that, actually maybe not. NVIDIA here, maybe there's still a chance. Like NVIDIA 168.50 or so, looks like that could be the place to buy the dip. And I can't say I should take the smaller trade on Alibaba and not do it. So that is me listening to myself and not trying to get slapped around in the face. I did want to get out initially first out there at 104, just in front of the 104, and that's where I've been sitting since I got into position, but it does not seem to want to break this 104.20, so I'll take that 20 cents and then see if you can get a little bit more after. It does give me the opportunity to reload up here, which I've been resisting. It just feels like I felt like we were going to fall over. If the futures don't take highs, BABA, which I've been weak on for a couple of days, I thought was going to roll over a little bit stronger than it did. I didn't go over to NEO. I think I'm maybe not as frustrated, but I'm frustrated with my NEO trade today, if only because I got into the long on the 20 break. It was the only thing I took. And then I made the genius decision to move my stop up when it broke VWAP. And then it just held like 1995, and essentially the 20 to like 20 and a quarter has been valid pretty much the entire afternoon. Like you could have just been going over and over and over again. Instead, I stopped out and never went back over to it. We're going back over to Brendo.
Just reading a couple things on some of these Chinese stocks today. Here's part of what could be the reason they are so weak. Guys, this just out 2:30 this afternoon. Chinese regulators fining DD 1.3 billion. Can we show that, Fahad? There we go. China fining DD Global 1.3 billion over a data breach. So there was that. They're also talking about continued pressure on some of the casino makers as well on the COVID side. But 1.3 billion fine for DD over data, guys.
Yeah, DD. I mean, that was a pink sheet name that, they got down there. Still about $3 on DIY.PK. We missed out on Jeff Mendel today. Hopefully he'll be. Did he reload for tomorrow? Tomorrow. So we'll have Jeff Mendel on. We'll talk about some of the action happening there on DD. And I mean, what's up to Cam? I mean, I want to talk to everybody in the chat. Good name there. You had Cam Smith win the Open, and then Cameron Young. Good day for Cams there on Sunday there. But asking, why am I long AMD? I mean, A, because of this, and then B, because, we were long here. We made a lot of money there. And then you are right, though, Cam, that, we're long at the end of this. Yeah, I mean, we're long a lot of names at the beginning, but this one, again, part of it is because this is a show we're putting on here for you. We're trying to find some winners, try to pick them kind of, out. And what we got to do for this show, especially the closing show, is play momentum. We got to play names that have some momentum attached to them. And I think we found one here with AMD. We've just reloaded this. I mean, it's pennies, right? Like you're paying for, it's not, we're taking pennies, but, as this goes up, now we're 18 cents in the money. So, like we always say, man, trade your own account there. There goes Google. Google breaks above, boom, breaks above right there. So now we are out at 113. End of that trade. Google a positive stock for us today, as we said, but there is the break of 113. And now that break is on, why not just go long here? Let's just punch this through. We put a little bit of a market, well, not a market, I punched it. There at 12. Let's go long now into Google as we can start to maybe get back up to the upside now since breaking that level. So we have the ability to go back and forth here. We won't again, we've already identified that this was weak against that 113, so wouldn't surprise me if we back test it again. So we will look at this level there, 112.80, to see about that as our out. So let's hold on to Google. I mean, we're positive on the name. So good. So anything that we have now will also be a positive take for us. So hopefully this name can continue to go to the upside. Google we will be out when it takes out this 50 period at 112.80. So I like Google here. And by the way, there goes AMD. What's up, Cam? There in the chat. We love you, my friend. Thank you for joining us in the chat again. But now this name is nicely in the money. We'll just take some out there at 02. Hit it for you, Cam, right there. As we go money back in. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye, AMD. Bang for you on that one. So we'll floss it off. And there it goes back up to the upside. Hey, man, trading is not over until the bell rings at 4 o'clock, at which point I was already talking to Sharif here, excited for Netflix earnings.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even end there. I mean, for the movement anyways. For day traders, it kind of does end at the bell. But I want to get to this APLD, I almost said APDN. I know that is a different stock. APLD here was a blockchain stock. They raised their forecast, breaking out in a pretty big way here, obviously. There's not much to look at as far as levels go on the higher time frame. You go to the daily chart, all you got is the psychological level of 2, and the 50 period is actually above that at 220, and you have a strong stair step to the upside. It's basically been pulling back and then breaking consolidation. The breakouts have not been super big or super clean, so I'd hesitate at this 180. because you have that 2. But every single dip has given you a chance to come back in, retake the breakout price, and then sort of get long in front of what was the previous support. So it's a trend up until it isn't. The volume, while tapering off, and you can't see volume, so let me try and do this for you guys. The volume while tapering off is still pretty solid considering it is the afternoon here. It is holding up a little bit. So it's still, I'd say it's still in play for a chance at a dip buy, although it is slowing down as I see it. I'd still want to see about the same volume throughout lunchtime if it does dip into VWAP or into the 60s. I want to see as much volume as we've seen at lunchtime when it pulls back in. If I see lower volume start on a consolidation, then I don't want to take that long or even try it on that APLD. We always want to get to what's moving, want to make sure you guys are abreast of that. The only thing I can see that I still like reloading on shorts on, and I'll zoom back, or I'll move to my 3-minute for Alibaba, is going to be this BABA. It's only a scalp trade. We've been able to get it off this 104.50 area here. I want to get better prices if it comes and pops back up, but this one's still working as the market is taking out the top. And ultimately, you can't ignore the fact we are taking out these highs here. Amazon just got, shoot, I typed NY. I hit enter so fast, that's the problem. Amazon just got off the schneid. It was dipping a little bit here. Got a wick for the morning, I'll get that away. It just put in, like Microsoft, a rejection of its breakout price at 107.75 and then ran higher. So as much as I would like that 258 level on Microsoft, you can get it, about 117.75 is an equivalent dip price here in Amazon. I just got forward long for now. It is softy I want to get into. The question is, I can't even get it. Like, you put that dip in, forget it. It's only like 280. It's about like 258.50 that you're able to get here. So not going to be able to get in that. There's still a shot at Amazon. There's still a shot maybe at Nvidia as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're already taking shot. I mean, AMD right now is flying right here. And by the way, we've just made more money, obviously long here, on Google than we did on that short where we got taken out. So we're long. We just took a dime out there. We'll still hold it, though. I think there's going to be higher pieces for Google, including possibly that 114 area that we resisted yesterday for Google. So watch out there. That high is 113.60. I guess we had some pre-market highs of about that 114. So we'll watch out for 113.40, 113.50 or so on Google as we have broken back upside here on Google. So we'll take another, wow, here it comes back in, but we're gonna have to let this one go a little bit. Who knows where we are going here on Google today. So nice little move to the upside here. We'll just wait on it. Maybe nothing. DraftKings might have been, we mentioned this again like a couple days ago about how good, I mean, today it looks like DraftKings, like, what? Is this a buyout or something? Like, it's doing absolutely nothing today. DraftKings absolutely barcoding. Are we waiting on something for DraftKings? Because today, pretty choppy, man, just back and forth. Nice little bottom of 13 there. What I was going to say was that might have been that bottom of $11 came in a couple times. It came in before too when we'll looked at on the daily chart. But wow, good level there for 111 on the break up to 14. Came back in, felt that bottom again, felt it again there. Now you're up to 1350 on DraftKings. One of those Kathy Wood names, man. I mean, if you wanted to get Kathy Wood shedded, that would be okay. But there it is. There's 11. So again, you are going to get dip downs. Like, there's going to be pretty much, honestly, like every stock you see is going to have these kind of plays, man, where they broke down below ranges that you weren't expecting. So I feel like you got to up your expectations for some of these names and just say, like, you know what, maybe the real level on this is 11, not all the way down here at 8, 9, 10. Like, I don't know if we see those crazy dark days again. We probably do, but that's going to be one of those risks here on a DraftKings. Like, I feel like there's so much out there as far as earnings are concerned that, you know, let's just see where these guys guide, because this could be a great buy for DraftKings, especially we're above the 50 period right now and it's starting to get going. Remember, like, basketball is not that far away, man. Football is 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
3 weeks
Football
until I
season,
think it's
man.
training camps, and then what do they have, 2 or 3? I think they have 3 pre-market games. Pre-market games. Preseason games, they're pre-market games there. So yeah, that's football, and it's a good one. So get ready to rock and roll with the NFL, man. And I think that that's going to be a great DraftKings take as well there for the NFL. So yeah, all is well, man. All is well as we continue to trade here. That's DraftKings. I like that play for sure. Google came back in, and then AMD. So we just got to find some better plays. I really like to get into some Neo here. What a call. IBM is is definitely, I don't know what happened to the frustrating stocks. We could still do that segment, but IBM for me would be, because we wrote down on the sticky note 128, but we just didn't follow that rule. We got out when it broke it. We should have gave it to 127 or so. But hey, we're in earnings season and we're remembering all of that. So hopefully we can take advantage tomorrow and or the next day when something like this happens, Brendo.
Just saw Pinterest guys trying to get back to day highs here as well, having a nice day. 2.5% here for pins. There was a note from Credit Suisse this morning with a price target cut. But down here, they do actually talk about, ever since they appointed this new executive, Bill Reddy, to the CEO position, they're talking about focus shifting away from monthly active users to any new ideas coming up maybe in this quarter. So ahead of earnings, nice day here for pins.
Ooh, yeah, they had Elliott, right? Elliott was involved.
Elliott, yeah, Elliott Management.
Elliott was in there, yeah, activist group in there, trying to take pins to whole new levels. You got stopped out of Intel, but a good stop out.
But look, yeah, I was going to say, like, Intel's starting to make moves up, and there was another name that I might consider a short if it gets any stronger than this. It's not there yet, but I can't see Intel on that news getting back toward that high. So the highs of the day. So if it gets anywhere near 40.65, kind of like Baba, until we break the highs, I'll go for it. Like I said, I got into Amazon a little bit there. That 117.75 has held up on that little bit of a dip. I'm not going to be shorting Intel at these prices. I don't think that makes a ton of sense. That APLD, I hit enter. Come on. I have to hit enter twice every time. But APLD, this $2 level, looks like a bit of a barrier. I should have just gone ahead and paid for the shorts. Like, look how much this is up in the last couple of days. If I'd paid for the shorts, and I guess I could, I didn't even double check to see if we have free locates. No, we don't. If I had paid for the shorts already, there would have been a chance just for that scalp play off of $2. It got up to like 93, so an entry at 90 or 91s would have made sense. At this point, it's kind of already pulled back, so paying for it now, unless it's basically free, I don't know that that makes a ton of sense. I'll go ahead and check because you always want to make sure you do your diligence. It's always going to be part of the game. I want to come to Tesla here.
Oh, what the hell?
What happened?
No, I was literally just had Tesla up. That's crazy.
Oh, that's so weird. Like Tesla, it's still like, I have to zoom in to get rid of these wicks so you don't see them and they don't screw the scaling up, but it's still grinding toward that high. That's why I want to find some longs, like Amazon and the consolidation. Now the chart just crashed on me. That was kind of weird. Yeah, you go to your chart there.
Do you have the new software yet, bro?
If we break that 740, I think we get dragged up for something like that Amazon trade that we're sitting in to the long side.
Yo, King LeBron. Yo, we need you to work over here. Neil's charts crashed there as he was talking. But there it is. That's that 740 level that Neil's talking about. So the market is coming back in right now on a nice move down. So watch out here. I don't know if we have anything on the imbalances. Not that that's affecting anything right this second, but we do have the market on close imbalances coming out pronto at 350. So still a little bit of work to do on those imbalances for sure. But this market is pulling back a little bit right now. So just wanted to go over that. Meta is rocking as well. Up big time today for Meta. We've been really long this name for quite a bit, man. Unfortunately, wasn't really on the radar today. Should have been off that 170. I mean, we took down 170 this morning. That was a pretty easy long if you're just playing off even dollar levels. I mean, it's the same reason why this Google is interesting at 113, so on and so forth. Meta down here at 170, a great little spot to look at right now for Meta. And there it is. There's that 175. And here's 170. So this is probably why we weren't really looking at it. There's not, the last little while here, this is just a, it's not going to go back that far because we had the name change, but sorry. Symbol split, symbol change, 172.50, the top there. So we can try to look at this tomorrow if things go sour with Netflix, and we can have another look to see about Meta tomorrow, down to 172. There's really no, Look, I'm excited for Netflix. I don't hold that many shares in Netflix, but I am a shareholder in Meta. So I really think that this Meta report that's going to come out is probably the one that I'm most interested in. For the market, though, I'm most interested in Apple, obviously. Yes. And I like to see what Google has to say. So I don't think that anything else really matters. Microsoft would be good, but I feel like Microsoft has a little moat around it anyways. I feel like even if it's a bad report, I feel like they'll still buy. They might not buy right away, but I don't feel like Microsoft has the volatility in it. But Meta, because it's such a slippery slope with all the money they've wasted on the metaverse, and then what we're worried about right now with advertising, if they come out and confirm some of what we think might be happening, they've cut jobs, so has Google, so has Apple. A lot of these names, Amazon is another one that's either freezing hiring or laying off. So I just wonder, where are we with all of this? Is AWS okay? If it is, then Microsoft will be fine, so will Google. Is it just a retail problem? We've seen Gap, Target, Walmart, and that go to the downside. So I still think like there's so much. This is going to be a great earnings season. You've tuned into the right place for sure. As AMD right now, 30 cents in the money. Google's a dime piece, and that's all we have right now. I'm debating Tesla at that Tesla's right there again, man, at 740. So it's just come right back to the upside. This is a great break long if you like it right there. It's the high of the day at 740, and it's coming in again. I mean, the true high on all these wicks is 741, but here comes 740 faster than Santa Claus.
So I did say if this APLD was basically free, that it would be worth it. And it is. It was like a third of a cent for the locates. The $2 rejection happened, and I would have only taken it if I could still get 90. So I did jump in there, was able to get the shorts at 90. Because I think a pullback, if the pullback stalls at 175 or so, like that would be a good opportunity for a trade. Like that's good enough if it goes to like a 175. So I want to get out from about like 84 into that 75 so that the average out works out to about 180 there. We'll see what happens with that APLD. I still think it's a relatively strong stock, at least for the time being, but you know the play just makes sense to me. It was pretty much free to short, so we took our shot at it. People keep saying, I keep seeing Zila in the chat, and I get it. Zila definitely.
People love Zila.
Look, Zila is doing a ton of volume, and it's going to get to that, or close enough to that billion that I was saying it needs to happen for a good penny stock. But it's been a short since the open. Like I was long in the pre-market off of like 16 and a half, and it got to like 18 bucks, and I tried the same thing. And then this is what happened. Like I ended up getting stopped out trying to make the same trade, and then it runs right to the same high, but it was a short after that, realistically. It was a short all day long. And every single pop, if you've been shorting it, you've been winning. So it's hard for me to say this is a good opportunity for you guys out there. I'm just not really seeing it in Zila. Like right now, the shorts are firmly in control of this stock. And even taking out that 14, which was like that was your 14 top from yesterday. At this point, I think your support's back at that 12-cent breakout price. So I think you got to be patient with this. I'm not saying it doesn't have a chance to make another move. I'm just not sure it's going to be today. Shorts, I mean, look, the sellers couldn't be any more firmly in control of the stock than the double top since the open. I mean, sometimes the chart telling you everything you need to know. Maybe it can regroup at 12, but that's where I would be getting into a long, and that's likely tomorrow or maybe even the day after.
MSTR, yeah, what's up, Yaz? Yeah, we know about MSTR there. We'll look at that one, MicroStrategy. We took a couple more outs there on Google as it came up to the high there of 22. Again, just back-to-back 22s. I can't get away from taking dime pieces, man. I mean, it's just, it's not moving. I wish Google would move and we could have a bigger winner. It's not. AMD right now, same type of thing. We let this thing fly. I still think high of the day. Look at the NASDAQ right now. It is close enough to the high of the day. We talked about how important 12,000 was earlier on in the day, and that's the bottom. So good call on that one. But look at that, 12,280. Let's see if we can take it out. We're only 20 points away from the high of the NASDAQ. So if that can come through, then yippee-ki-yay. And yeah, I don't know what I was doing with that Microsoft or with that Santa Claus reference there. That clearly makes no sense. So, but Google, AMD, that's the only positions that we're looking at right now. Let's check in on Netflix. Netflix dancing around this 202 area. I am not getting involved with this. I just wanted to have a look quickly just to see where we're at. And it looks like this is where we're at. Not bad. A nice little move here for Netflix today, up that 5%. Kind of like Meta. I mean, there's a couple names that are up 5% today. NVIDIA is another one that's up. The only name that we traded on the chip space is AMD. I could run off the profit for you. It's going to be Netflix #1 for me today, right here off of that 190 bid. We took $7. That's pretty clean. The next name for me, profit-wise, is CCL, actually. And like I said, some of these plays are off the sticky note. It's the big shares off the sticky note, bringing it in. After that, it's actually Google's going to be a good one. They're all kind of the same. So Apple's a good trade for me today until we flipped long, which we should have. We didn't. Missed opportunity. AMC, another good long that we got out of. Like, don't at me and say, hey, bro, you said AMC long. Yeah, exactly. And then Alibaba's a loser, but barely. That's a cup of coffee. And then the worst trade for me is going to be IBM off that. But IBM just came in. We should have maybe shorted that one. 131. It came all the way back to some of the levels that we initially went long, got some out there at 131. It just came back up to that level, now fading back through possibly the 50 period. I like when we break back down below. We tried here, and we're trying again, but it looks like it's gonna fail one more time. This could be a good long spot for IBM here at 130. So you have a little bit of runway, obviously, to the upside because it's so beat down, but do you really wanna go short, or sorry, go long a name that is down 5% into a screaming market? Before I go, I just wanna say shout out to Trader Prad there. He went to Tim Hortons and I said, can you pick up a coffee? He said yes, so shout out to you, Trader Prad. You can be employed one more day.
It threw me off because Prad came by the desk and he's asking
And
Sean,
normally it's Super Chicken.
And usually after he gets off the show, he goes to get his lunch. I thought it was going to be Super Chicken, so I'm like, yo, did he just ask for orders if he went to Super Chicken and not ask me anything because he knows I love the fries? But no, it was just, he knows I don't drink coffee in the afternoon. So next time he goes Super Chicken, I want them fries. They're delicious. APLD, we grabbed that little bit of a short. It already just pulled back into the 70s, so I had a bid at 175. That was the last leg I wanted to take. It's the only one that didn't fill on the way back in. And the key thing about this is your out is at the high of the day when you play this curl. And if not, it's at $2. And I'm not thinking it's going to capitulate necessarily. And when I say that, I mean go down all the way to VWAP or fall apart and go all the way to $1. Nah, it's a trend. It's an uptrending stock since it had that earnings trade. And on top of that, it's a blockchain stock, and those are all pretty strong this afternoon. Well, not just this afternoon, just today in general. So you take your money and run for something like that. And speaking of the blockchain, yeah, guess what did hold that 65? Someone asked me if I was still bearish. It's not so much that I'm bearish. It's like I got Amazon because it hasn't taken the high. I like Alibaba because I've liked the short for 3 days in a row now in Alibaba. But I just don't want to be buying things at the high of the day in this market when it seems like it can't get through the top. And with only about 30 minutes to go here. So that's my reluctance to pay up at the high of the day. In Coinbase, I probably should have just bought the dip and just said, forget it. If it holds that 65 area, maybe give it to 64.5. That would have been a more appealing trade to me than taking a 66 breakout, which is what I'd be staring at for into the close, which could happen. Like if it takes out this top, maybe it does run. Up 12% doesn't mean it can't go higher, Brendan.
I was just going to show you a chart here, but we'll get that in a second. BTBT, speaking of some of the crypto names popping back up, here goes BTBT. I saw Bitcoin, guys, approaching 23,700 at day highs as well. So a nice move late in the day here.
Oh, that was an interesting coincidence. We were just talking Coinbase and BTBT making moves. And that'll oh man, just about every crypto-related name is going to be big. I don't even want to pull up Silvergate because it probably wasn't too much of a trade there, but that was one that I did want to get involved in. Unfortunately, I did not. Like I said about getting into Amazon off dips, there we go. So it's now consolidating off that level, and sort of what I prefer is getting something in a consolidation where if it holds the range, fine, if we don't break out any higher, but without the market taking out the tops, if we don't get through the top, there's still a chance that Amazon could be strong enough to get to its high as upward pressure is getting put on the double top in the ES and the NASDAQ, and it just gives me a little bit more upside. So you could fail to break out in the overall market, and then one of these other names, which has been lagging a little bit here at these highs, still has some room to run. It gives you some better risk to reward. Buying something through the top break, well, now you're really hoping for a late day breakout. There's room to run for Amazon on its own, and that's kind of why I'm favoring it. Ford just turns out to probably be a nothing burger. I kind of let these bids in here after the lunchtime show, just thinking it was relatively strong and buying it off support. Now it's just barcoding, so my stop is in at 50, but at some point I'm just going to get out of the stupid trade because it's not going anywhere. And if it's not moving...
You mean Ford's not moving?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, shockingly. And if it's not moving, you don't want it. You don't want to be hanging out in it too long. This APLD is going to be retesting these highs. I think there'll be one shot to maybe reload off of this, but like I said, it's an upward trend. When you get that pullback, I'm not going to be doing it. I don't think it's a horrible idea shorting the 90s again off those tops, but to me, either it makes a lower high here and then gives us our last fills down on the bid. And as a matter of fact, if it pulls down from here, I should be trying to take 70s on the last little bit. If it either does that, or probably taking out those tops. It's still a very strong and upward trending stock, and I don't want to ignore that. Tesla never really gave you that breakout. It's still valid, but like I said, we just keep rejecting these highs across the board.
I know a name we gave you. Spin it.
Money.
Gave you Hut 8 this morning there. So that was a good one. I talked about if you wanted something into crypto, take Hut 8 because it was some of these other kind of, not the alt, well, it is the altcoins, but the news there was Bitcoin breaking higher, but there goes Hut 8. And by the way, shout out to everybody out there that took Google with me, because there it is again, man. And this is why there's many, many ways to skin a cat, and no cats, of course, harmed in the skinning of Google, because it's been a nice little move to the upside. As soon as we broke 113, we just simply flipped it long, shorts cash, long cash right now. So we were almost unable to even make 30 cents on the shorts. I mean, my best outs were 50s and 60s. So we do have some good outs there on the short, but look what happened once the long came through, man. Bust, bust, bust. We still have 40% of this long as we are now in the money, 30 cents. But hey, like, again, if the market, just like Ford, like what Neil was talking about with Ford there, like if the market's not going to give you the moves, then you can't take them. So, I mean, there it is. Like we broke through 113 and it's now at the high of the day. So we'll take a piece out. Like I would love, like, so, you know, everyone that's saying, oh, wow, it's 40 cents. Wow. Okay, yeah, it's 40 cents. I mean, I got to be flat in 20 minutes here. We'll take that trade. I don't know how far this is going up. That's why we scalp, man. And like I said, we're going to go 19-1 our last 20 days. So hopefully that's good enough ratio there for everybody and for myself. But we'll just continue to trade it here. We do feel blessed. Like this is not anything other than like feeling really blessed to be here at Day Trade the World. And it's my 21st year here. And again, we have the ability just with this software alone to do the trading that we're doing. We're able to get in and out. I have today 200 fills, just a little north of 200 fills. So, I mean, that's going to be with fees of, I mean, my fees are a little high today, $71, but again, 200 fills, $71 worth of fees, some in, some outs where we get paid. So like when I get run over there at 113.35 or whatever I just took there, what did I take, 35? You know, I'm offering ARCA. So ARCA will pay you $2 per 1,000 shares. So if I do that enough and enough and enough, then, you know, if you trade 100,000 shares or something, that would be $2 per 1,000. That would be too much money to do that. But if you did offer that, that's, you know, that's how it works. You're not going to stick 100,000 shares on here, but you know, that's how it works. And you can make a lot of money. $2 per 1,000 shares. Yeah, that's right. So, you know, you can make that quick $200 or whatever just off those fees by offering that out, right? So that's how it works. And we do that here, and we do feel blessed to do that. So a lot of the trading that obviously I do on the show, I realize that a lot of traders that watch us aren't able to, but I think some of the ideas have been solid. Like we're one in on AMC today, that's a banger. We're one in on AMD besides this trade. Google, you would have had to go back and forth with. IBM was 128. I mean, if you waited for that, then you're laughing. And then of course the Netflix was one in and $10 later. So yeah, it's been a pretty good day here as we get ready to wrap it up. I'm only in 2 positions though, Neil. I know you're in a few shorts. I should probably try to find some, but AMD long right now, 30 cents in the money, the exact same as Google. So yeah, we're just going to try to watch these longs as we are approaching once again the high of the day in the market. But it looks like Ford here the last 20 minutes back and forth and not doing a whole hell of a lot.
I don't count APLD. Yeah, it's a short, but it's the market could take out the high, and that stock. It's a, you know, small caps don't tend to care too much about that. It's a blockchain stock, so I have to watch. See if Bitcoin's still rallying, obviously. It could have some momentum that way. I want to at least address Jimmy, which did come, GME. Oh, for the love, Prad got me saying this because he calls AMC Amy and GME Jimmy, and now it's in my head. So I just want to say it before I even think about it. Yeah, but this stock, it did come back to this 150 level. We have to pay for locates here to be able to short the stock, and I don't think I paid for it this morning because I was going to be trading AMC today. But if this fails 150, you could have like a $2 or $3 drop right at the close. It has been giving it up, but that's a pretty solid bounce back here. I'd just be very cautious of buying back into this one. The volume is pretty low on this bounce, unfortunately. That APLD, I said I would not reload. And if you like reloading into this trade, fair enough. I still have the last bit of it. It's trying to take out the high here. We're short off the top. The last little bit is going to end up being loser. I'm not taking any more short. I think if it fails a break at $2, that could be an entry price for me. And by a failed break, what I mean by a failed break is you don't just get to 99, like you actually break above $2, maybe climb to 1, 2, 3, something like that, and then immediately reject that level and then you're back below. That's the failed break, and that traps some longs above that $2 level, and then suddenly you have something to get you out on a bit of a scalp trade. So it looks like it's going to end up holding that high, so I don't have to really get out of the last of this just yet. I'll probably get out of it here on this double top if it gets back into the 80s or makes a fresh high. But it is still a strong trending stock. That's why no reload for me here. I don't think it makes a heck of a lot of sense. It doesn't mean I wouldn't trade it, but it's got to be on a fail break of 2 even. Right now, you're not trapping anybody. I don't know how many people are going long on this break, but I'll take the stop out in the last of these shares and then run to the hills for that. Amazon's starting to peel back as the market comes in. BABA's still about flat, but if Amazon stops me at the support, I fully expect BABA should be falling back in and giving me profit. So hopefully ideally, one of these stops out, and the other I can hold into the close. One of them relatively strong. I'm not saying BABA's down on the day. It's up 1%, but the market's up 3%. The NASDAQ's up 3%. The ES is up 2.5%. It's relatively weak. If we roll over from here, I'll stop out Amazon. I'll hold into Alibaba to the short side of the trade. And then Ford, whatever. I'm just probably going to get on the offer now. The stock is doing absolutely nothing.
Okay, I just closed our work chat, so I'm going to reopen that chat. Okay, so I wanted to talk about it. We are out of AMD there on that break. Neil's going through it. I obviously didn't want to interrupt him, but there it is right there. And look what happened to the market. So I could probably, let's take one more piece out here on Google. Again, here, I'll just call it up. We'll take a 33 fill on Google if we can get it. But right there, AMD, again, once these futures, guys, and again, if those of you that are watching me here know exactly what I'm talking about because I do it every day. If these futures fail, then we want to get out, right? And so they are failing at this level. So that's the futures call, failing back down in. So there it is, breaking that 50 period. So we do got to be very, very careful of that for the futures right now. So watch out below as we start to get some out. We got out of some AMD there as that faded out. So yeah, not great here into the close as there we go. We did get that 33. So there it is again. I talked about getting that 33, so we take that out there. We feel pretty damn good about it, and now we got to watch to see what happens now moving forward. But there's the out for us here on Google. 33s. We'll hold a small piece left as this market's trying to come back in to the downside here. Maybe we do get a bounce. Maybe we get that bounce here into the close. But for right now, it is a downside move here on the futures. I don't think we have it. I was trying to see what the futures, the imbalance was. There it is. Brendan just gave it to us 4 minutes ago. 32 million shares to sell.
Nothing.
So really a nothing burger as far as the futures are concerned into the sell side, which doesn't surprise me, man. We do have a big earnings report kicking it off basically for tech. IBM did yesterday, but their report wasn't great, although they're only down 5%. We'll see what happens here with Netflix, which is to come in 25 minutes, man. It'll be right at 4 o'clock. Hopefully we'll be able to have it here live for you. If you can hit the like button, do that, man. Let us know that you're appreciating what's been happening here on the show. And Neil and I both pretty active trading here this afternoon, but again, excited. You can hear the boys and girls behind us getting ramped up for some of these closes and for earnings today. So stick with us, man. I think you're going to be in good hands.
Exactly, and I'm going to get back to Intel very quickly. We had that news that came through, and another benefit of being here is you're going to get breaking news every single time. I just got trail out of Amazon, so we're going to hold on to, it looks like Alibaba, and look for those shorts coming back in. But the news, of course, that the bill is not going to get that vote through. The chips bill I'm talking about, Intel was to the downside. It trying to hold $40 here. If it breaks down through 40, I think there could be a momentum swing into the downside on some of these chips at the end. I will note some people have mentioned that Nile is making a move. It's another penny stock. I'm not seeing a trade there, to be honest with you. I don't mind pulling up just about anything, but when I had a quick look, it's a 10% move on a 30-cent stock. However, the interesting thing is it gets above 37. So maybe one to file away for tomorrow. you know, like gapping above that 37, maybe you can start breaking out on a higher time frame, make it run to like 45, 50 cents. The percentage move can certainly be there for the stock, but with 20 minutes left, and it's essentially at some highs in the daily where you could see some sellers jump in. As a matter of fact, I see like 20,000 orders like every 1/10 of a cent or so. The stock starting to slow down. So I don't see a trade in denial. It is somewhat interesting on a higher time frame if it can get a little bit of more juice to the upside. I'll be watching going into the imbalances. The stock I'll be watching is going to be Intel. To me, it's almost got to be a chip name after the news on that vote. I want to be short if it breaks that 40. If a sell imbalance comes in late, and a couple of the chips have sell imbalances, I think Intel might be the one. Although keep in mind, if there's a big sell imbalance on Intel, it's going to pair off. It always does. So the move is the initial move. Like, it's not shorted into 4 o'clock. It's probably get it right away and scalp the short and then take advantage of that move to the downside. But I'm only looking to go short Intel. If it comes out of buy imbalance, I'll fade it off the high of the day. Like, if there's a buy imbalance on Intel of a million or 2 million shares, I want to sell into the high of the day on that bounce. So that's where I'll be watching at 350.
Yeah, I mean, I like all that talk. I mean, you mentioned NIL, and I was like, oh, what about NEO one more time there? So I think that this one tomorrow, let's see what happens, obviously, with the earnings, but this was pretty weak today. We saw Li Auto as well, shout out to, Lob City, I think it was, had a great play there, and you did the trade of the day on Li Auto as well, so it's NASDAQ name, I forget it, XPeng and Li Auto are both NASDAQ.
No, XPeng's New York, isn't it?
No,
it's the other way around.
See, so there you go. Yeah, so it's only Li Auto for the NASDAQ. There's a great call on that downside. So down that 5%, pulling back in for Li Auto there today. And then we're going to go back over to NIO. So I was just going to look at these names if there's a weak market. So that's what we're going to do. Like, we write it down, we take notes, you figure out which names are weak today. Is there going to be news tomorrow? Can we play them tomorrow one way or the other? So we'll be doing that here with NIO tomorrow for sure. I figure that this is going to be a pretty weak name. We haven't got back into it. We said we would like to have shorted that thing into this move down, into VWAP, but it did bounce off 20 flat. So really no trade here for me yet on this name today, but I mean, well, we made lots of trades today, just short. It is a negative name barely for us, still actually pretty decently negative because we were short and then got hit right there when it did take out that 20-30 level. So yeah, not a great play for me today here on NIO, but we'll just wait to see if it can hold out tomorrow against that 2050 level. I don't think we get there today, but I guess we could. It's not over with yet. Did Carnival fill the gap right now? I didn't really look at
which time
right.
frame?
I'm guessing daily. But there's Carnival. That's what we liked it all the way up to there today. If you're going to look at a 20-minute chart, I mean, I guess maybe that gap. There's the gap fill there on Carnival on that dip down on the 29th, I guess, on bad news there. It wasn't earning. Was Carnival earnings? I think Carnival's already reported, if I'm mistaken, but nice move down to 10.50 down there, down to $8. Or was that Morgan day? Remember the day where they got a price target of 0? Or $1? What was it?
No, it was.
Yeah, it was basically declaring. It was saying that they wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of a bankruptcy coming on Carnival. That could have been that day. And then right there is all the way back up. So it wouldn't surprise me if you barcode a little bit around here. What you're looking for is this gap fill right here. I apologize who that was asking, but right there, 11 is the interesting level here for Carnival. You got to break above here to get going again. So we'll see if that can come through. It's not that COVID is done. I mean, we keep hearing all about third waves, fourth waves, eighth wave. I don't know what wave we're on right now, but I think that as talk keeps getting better and better regarding COVID and some of the hospital numbers can come down, so on and so forth. I mean, Novavax keeps getting approved and their stock keeps going down. I think a lot of people are probably jabbed up already and willing to go back or not, and just willing to go back on cruises and travel. We know travel numbers from Delta, American Airlines have been pretty super, I guess, to say the least, where their numbers are back to where they were post or pre-pandemic levels, now into post. There's Delta here. You can see a nice little move for Delta over the last little bit. Let's call that up right here on the daily. So there it is, a nice move from some of these bottoms of 28, 29, just trying to break back up. And there's the key level there, 34 for Delta. But yeah, I feel like cruise lines and whatnot should be okay soon, but we'll wait. I think you got to still wait for earnings to come through. They did get that good news yesterday from the easing of the restrictions for COVID.
Yeah, and speaking of good news, I mean, the good news on crypto is, look, we're still bouncing to the upside on individual names. I just checked chart, and Ether is still resisting the highs, but Bitcoin is still in the midst of a breakout. But Coinbase keeps rejecting this 66. If this was earlier on in the day, I think I said, I didn't trash talk. I was talking about not taking a 66 break. I should clarify that. If this was earlier in the day, in the session, I would be taking this break. There's room to go on the daily chart. You're breaking above the 50 period. Like, there's room to the upside here. Everything about it is pretty solid. You've cleaned through on my 15-minute chart the resistance at 65, so 63 and at 65. So there's room to run. Like, I'd be in this break 100%. It's just, it's 342, and I don't like these late day breaks when you have this artificial out, where like the halt for this move, for me potentially, is 4 o'clock. If you're swinging it, let's just say, or you're getting this tomorrow at this price, well, then you got all day for it to work, and that's a little bit different. I hope we have a chance to play off that 66 level in Coinbase. This is just a time of day thing. I can't take it. It's the same reason I'm going to have to tighten my stop on Alibaba here, because getting into 350, I want my focus to be on Intel for a potential. I think I could be able to get Intel short in two ways, buy or sell in balance. Could come in for a play, but I'll get out of BABA if we break the 65. I've tightened the stop there, and I'll be looking at Coinbase 66. It's just not for the close.
All right, so I'm not sure where all the Google haters are at right now, but we'll do this. I mean, this is a great reversal into the long here for Google, as now the market is taking it. I said, and by the way, I was saying that I thought we had one more run at least to the high of the day, so there it is right now. Here's that run back up, and look, we weren't super confident. We did get out on this play, but there it is now. Now we're in the money. We still got 20%, out 20, out 40, out 60, out 80. Big time movement for the upside on Google. So we will end the day close to our highest spot of the day. So far, so good here as we're looking to make a little bit of cash just to finish off the day here. So nice upside move for Google. I don't really have a target now. We can let this thing run. It's 50 cents in the money. I'm going to channel my inner Alan Atkins. I remember a couple days ago, you were like, yo, just hold that for the whole day into the close and see if you can get a maximum move. But again, look what I'm noticing right here for everybody that is long Google with me. Yesterday's high is right here, 113.60. Right? So whoops, this is why it's hard, because I can't show you all the way back because our charts aren't split adjusted, but 113.80 basically was the high, but the high intraday when we started trading was 113.65, okay? Look where we're at right now on Google. Let's put this back up. What is this level? 113.65. So, you know, if you're in this name and wondering what to do, and you still have a couple bullets to fire, you might want to get out right now if you haven't got anything out. This is yesterday's high for Google. But hey, we're just happy to have this, baby. We shorted it, made that cash. We went long, made that money as well. The only thing that we might have done, well, not really. I mean, we got out here on I was going to say maybe AMD's back, but it's not, man. A couple averages in here on AMD gives us an average price of 80, and all these outs up here, 1s, 90s, so on and so forth. So that's going to be a good trade one more time for us here on AMD. But yeah, big close. We are very, very excited. I only had one in today on Netflix. It's this bottom at 190. Let's see if we can get a 290 print today. Nah, that ain't happening. The implied move is 15% on this name. So
no question.
$30 move is the implied move here for Netflix. I feel like that's come down a bit because we're already up $10. Well, so that, yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at the options. I was actually hoping, me and Neil talked about this, and maybe more work for Brendan here, but I'm wondering if there is sort of an implied volatility move section in Icon, because it's options based. So it's the price of the options. That's how they figure it out. Yeah. So I don't know if Icon Terminal does have that.
I'm sure Bloomberg does. I don't know if Icon
has. Like I know Danielle has that when she comes on, but again, she's
the good news is though, trade. I mean, if you're looking online, like if it's a big stock or big earnings, like you can literally just go on Twitter and someone already has it out there usually for you. But for some of the names that aren't as interesting, not as interesting, but aren't as big, it's always good to be able to have a good resource there. Just want to point out on Netflix, like this, it's holding this 200 level, so it's very much it's still in pocket. I thought with the market breaking out, this had a chance to get up to that 207. There's still some room for this stock to go like whipsaw up. So I'd watch out. Like I totally feel like Netflix regardless of what happens, like if they have an EPS beat and then sub number isn't good, it's probably going to spike to like $5 or $6, even like $10 up, and could still come down. So anyone that, if you're bold enough to trade this, I wouldn't make the assumption that the first move is the right way. I think that could be a bit of a mistake on this one here. I'm just in Alibaba, but I've tightened my stop. So we got about 2 minutes until the imbalances come. And instead of the high of the day, I'm just going to be getting out of this at the 104.65 level. And then I'm going to be glued to Intel. Netflix might have an imbalance. I think it's unlikely. A lot of times, just because the stock is in play on earnings, doesn't give any kind of juice there. Intel regularly has imbalances. On top of that, when you had the negative news of the CHIPS bill come through, or the CHIPS bill not being voted on actually, then I think that can be another catalyst for a bit of a reversal play in there. We were asked about Tesla and ideas for this. I'd love to be telling you 740 breaks, but I don't think that's the big level for Tesla going into those earnings here. I think even if it gets to 740, you've got multiple levels of resistance every $10 here. It's just this 720. That's what I like for Tesla tomorrow. I think if as strong as we've been here today, if there's a chance to formulate a long off 720, then I got to go ahead and pull the trigger. I haven't traded Tesla in a while. That's the level I'll be watching. Much prefer that to breakouts. As strong as we've been, we've usually been following up strong days by pullbacks in the market. So I would favor that side of the trade over there on Tesla, but that's just my 2 cents with only a couple of minutes to go. That AP, oh, what the heck was that? APLD stock, just to recap here, the last of it, I did stop out at the high of the day. Guess what? If I had no stop, it holds on, and I would have got those 85s. But you got to be able to follow your plan. It's still trending to the upside, by the way. Feels like it does want to make a collision course to 2 o'clock. Worth mentioning that a lot of these smaller cap names will often make 4 p.m. runs. So this is a candidate right now. Maybe it takes out that $2 in the aftermarket. Just remember, when you're playing small cap names for swings or breakouts, you better be able, make sure you know the execution eligibility for yourself trading in the aftermarket and the pre-market. I say this for everybody that swings small cap stocks. If you don't have an ability to exit in the pre-market, then I think you're basically playing with one hand tied behind your back. And a perfect example of that sometimes, you look at something like a Zila today, right? Well, Zila gave you a second shot. So, I mean, it's probably not a good example. But sometimes it'll make this run, and then that's the best of it, and you don't get the second push at the open. Like, that's just the best out is in the pre-market. So if you're holding some of these swing-type plays, like yesterday we're talking about how Zila was pretty strong going into the close. That's great if you took the break or took it after market at 14 or like 13.50. But if you weren't executing out in the pre-market and it doesn't make that last push at the open, then suddenly your chance to cash on that is just not there for you. Imbalance is coming in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, right here. So come over here quickly with only 2 seconds to go. Let's see what happens with these imbalances. Okay, here it is. Amazon with a big buy. I just saw Open Door here. UMC. There's Amazon. Let's see what happens to Amazon off this big bid here. I don't see it. It's not developing the chart yet. Here, let me just go up so we can see what does happen. No. Amazon doesn't want to do anything on that bid. Apple with a buy. That should send the market a little bit upside. It doesn't look like they want to do much here at all into the close. So mind that closing, not much happening there. UMC, I don't know much about this stock, so we'll pass on that. CSX, we talked about the rails yesterday. This was on there yesterday. SRNE, Ocugen.
Open Door.
Yeah, I saw Open Door. I don't know.
That moved today, though.
What is it? Shout out to Chamath. Thanks for, ruining billions of retail's money. Down to $5 on Open Door. Ford with a nice bid, man. Ford's been a monster here today, and good for them, man. Up 5%. Ford is on that list as well. Apple, ATVI, WFC, the banks today. We haven't really looked at them. I don't really trade the banks, so I don't apologize for it, but I mean, unfortunately, maybe we should start to look at it. But okay, so that's the imbalances. Not much happening. I will review those in a second once I review this. A nice little drop down there for Google. So we just touched that spot 30. I don't know, man. I mean, we're almost done here. The market is pulling back a little bit now. And I guess we could finally, now that oil, the contract has changed over, so we're going to wait to see. I'm waiting on Friday. It officially goes, so this is going to be the true price right now, 104.05. But you can change over to that. I think it was the U. You changed it, was it you?
I did.
No, that's fine. I mean, it's fine. I just want to put the right contract in there. So this is obviously more volume and much cleaner here, up to 101. So I think that's more, the real price there as you look forward as it expires. But it's supposed to be it must not be the third Friday, right? That's this week, I guess. No, the third Friday was last week.
We already had the third Friday, didn't we?
Did we have the third Friday
When
already?
the Friday, the first was a Friday, so it comes early in the month.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was the 15th. So, okay, I guess for crude oil, they're taking an extra week on that. So we'll wait for that. But here comes Google back down to the downside. So far, so good today, man. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Don't forget to hit the like button. I just saw Tony over there. He will be ringing the bell, making his appearance. Hit it.
Still.
Hit it. Hit the Tony the Tiger thing here. Tuesdays with Tony. Closing the bell with Tony coming up. There it is. So he'll be back there in just approximately 7 minutes. You will see Tony on the bell, and I'm very excited for Netflix.
Netflix is going to be fire, one way or the other. I don't know if I can predict the direction there. I tend to think that they set the bar pretty low, but the rally that it's made today always gets me skeptical of what could be to come. Like that's just too many bets getting put to the upside. If that ends up being the case, then the risk ends up going to the downside. Open Door. I just wanted to quickly go to this name because up 10%. And I wish I'd flipped to this stock a lot earlier. That imbalance didn't do anything for it. As I look at it, it's still almost a million share buy imbalance. It didn't move off of that. So I don't really see much of a trade there. But this top that it's put in at about 570, 580, this gets interesting. And you talk about names that are trying to get off the old schneid here. Like on the daily chart, this has got room if it starts breaking out those highs. And anytime I see something like this that's been under pressure, that's been beaten up like Open Door has been, you throw in the fact that it's relatively decent, like 12 or 13% short interest. Yeah, that should be on the radar, maybe for potential break. I don't know about tomorrow because it's rejecting that high off a pretty green day. But if it consolidates long enough and keeps on making higher lows, just watch out for that Open Door 580. Could be a nice little scalp trade one of these days.
I'll give you an example of why, and just how trading evolves and things like that. Because I never traded Google before, period. And then all of a sudden it came into the price level and price range where I'm very familiar trading stocks in the $100 range, not the $1,000 range, because again, with liquidity, with the way the spreads are and things like that. And now all of a sudden, since yesterday, it's just been 2 days, Google has been one of the top stocks for me back-to-back days, despite of never trading it. So I think that we always say, stick with, and by the way, here we go, man. If Google takes this high out, we're going to get out here at 69. Picked a random number there, but we're
It doesn't sound very random to me.
Oh, it's random. But if you know what I mean, the thing is, the high is 70, so we're 1 penny ahead.
I know the high 70.
But I know both of us know why we said that, or why I said that. Here, yes, sir. There it is. We get that. Hello. Money. Mo Salah behind us knows all about money. How much is your transfer fee? Like $200 million. We had to pay transfer fee to have this guy sit behind us right now. So there you go, Mo Salah there. Look at that. Nice little out on that. So where's all the haters right now? Short, bang the long right there. Take 70 cents out for profit. So yeah, we're happy. Needless to say today, I got one kid at karate tonight, and then they both have swimming lessons. So it's swimming lessons and karate tonight. So paying for some of those, lessons, which believe me, by the time I'm done that, you don't have much left in the kitty. But there goes Google. Wow, 114 on the blow up to the upside. Without any further ado, it is 5 minutes until Netflix rocks your world. I don't know, maybe
it will.
Maybe I'm bigging this up too much. But let's go over to Brennan and find out what else is reporting.
I doubt it. I just double check, guys. It is, in fact, right at 4 o'clock. So we should be able to at least see the aftermath of whatever is to come for Netflix, but here it is and everything else.
I think if it does one of those reversals, I think the first candle could be like a $5 fake out off the open, just off the EPS number, and then when they start digesting it, you could see the other direction. But that's why it makes it difficult to do that prediction, because the first thing it drops is going to be the top and bottom lines, and everyone cares about the subscribers. So it's like there's a little bit of a delay, and then algos trade on into it in low liquidity. So that makes it really tricky for anyone that actually wants to trade that. I don't want to ignore ASML altogether because the chips were pretty good trades Chart doesn't want to look. The chips were a pretty good trade today for sure, before or after we got the news on the chip spill. But ASML is a good and interesting bellwether. And if these guys guide poorly, and that pertains to poor demand for the sector, I think you can find some resistance there. I talked about Intel favoring some shorts and tried some on Micron as well at one point today. I think I might be going back to that if you get a bad enough print here for ASML. But that's more if it ends up poor. I mean, both things work out. If we end up breaking the 50 period, they guide higher, then I'm talking about the reverse of that for some of those names. So we'll be watching some ASML as well. They're a big player. Everyone in America, you talk about AMAT and Lamb, while ASML is just as big over in Europe.
All right. Yeah, I mean, lots of good names. I mean, we can just watch Netflix into the close here, up that 5%. And again, we're going to go 6-2 today. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a floss action. So not too bad today. We'll take that and a positive day. We're close to the high of the day for ourselves as well. So far, so good here. Let's just see if we can keep the momentum going. Let's just check in on AMC quickly. Yeah, not mooning at all, down the other way, down 1% into a positive market. But that does not surprise me. Remember, when the NASDAQ's going to be up this 3, AMC, a lot of the attention goes to the big tech names. So that doesn't surprise me at all that AMC is down today, and I don't even consider that really a note about anything. So let's just hold out hope for AMC. And again, I don't own any shares. I like that 1580 level. We hit that early and then left it alone. Probably should have faded the short into that play. Google, I mean, look, I feel lucky that we were able to get that out right there at 69. It did go to 114, though, so you got to watch out for that. With only 2 minutes to go, the market is pulling back. And again, a lot of this pullback is just simply going to be the imbalances.
Well, hold on a second. Just
unless there's news.
No, there isn't news, but I just wanted to show one thing here. Oh, come on, you Binance.
Yeah, you got to do the other way around.
That's annoying. I wanted to quickly show you Bitcoin making a bit of a run to the
there
upside.
That's good enough.
Continuing to push to its high, but that was just an excuse to show you Mara continuing its strong redunculous day, 32% up to $13. I'm not saying I'm going to be short Mara tomorrow, but if it does another 30% move, I'll be looking for an opportunity to get this one. I mean, $17, $18 gets pretty interesting on Mara, and that's going to be pretty hard to ignore if it makes another push up like this. Strong move here to be sure. But yeah, it goes parabolic again. There are going to be retracements. I think that a lot of people will chase. I think that'll be a very probably crowded trade if it gets up to $17. But hey, it's on my radar after all. What a strong stock. If you're long this one today, congratulations. I like Silvergate and never ended up in the long on that side today. But the entire space, stupid strong.
Before we go quickly, Netflix. So again, someone on the chat, and I said a good job. I think his name was Bill, I think. Whoever, well, you know who you are anyways. I don't think it's a horrible idea to put down a lotto down here like 170, 175. If you just put a bid down there that maybe you get hit on like an early release or something, the algos, you know, they come in on these numbers and then they really hit the earnings play fast, try to get the way. And they might be wrong on the play for Netflix because there's so many metrics into play here for Netflix. I can do the countdown, Neil. As we're getting ready to rock and roll here with only...
You sure?
Oh, you got it. If you're okay, you can get it. Okay, so now we only have 50. Okay, there it is. Right. So here we go. It's Terrible Tony. Oh,
wow,
geez. Sorry about that, Tony. I was going to say
right.
Terrible Tuesday, but it's Tony the Tiger with only 3. You know I'm your biggest fan. 2 and 1. Let's ring the bell as we get ready now for Netflix. What I was saying was when this number comes out, we could get some dancing back and forth. So if you did want to put a limit bid down there near 170, not a horrible idea. Here we go.
There it is.
There it is, 195. So I don't know. Oh, that's the daily chart.
It shot to 207.
There
Resistance on the daily chart and then came right back down.
Yeah, well, now it's 215.
Right
now it's 215, 216. Bang, Netflix. Let's go long on Netflix right now. You know we're long 172. If you're long with me, you might want to get out here. A big move up there, Brendan, for Netflix.
Numbers.
Yeah, let's go.
Lost 1 million subscribers, guys, which is higher than expected. So a loss of 1 million subscribers on the quarter.
Makes sense that it's up 8%. Let's go Netflix. That could come back down. This is the problem, what we were saying about trading earnings. You get a move down, a rocket move back up. So let's see what happens now with Netflix, man. That 220 area, wow, there goes Netflix on a subscriber miss. Netflix
that is crazy.
Going to the upside. You guys, you know what, man? The Qs will probably start to take off. I think like this is going to be, if Netflix can go up on this, man, let's see what happens to the rest of these plays, right? You've got Disney up right now.
So basically did a similar move, but just not as big, obviously being another streamer there, Disney.
Yeah, losing $1 million, not good. They were expecting minus $2 million, though, apparently, is what they are saying. So that makes it why.
It's because they set the bar so low. That's what we're saying, is they set the bar so ridiculously low that in this particular case, it can go to the upside. And it still had room to go.
So I'm so glad to be into Netflix where I'm in now as we start to rip up to the high side. So I look at this. I don't know what Google's doing or some of these other names are doing 114 starting to go to the upside. This should be good news for Apple as well because obviously we know Apple Plus is also an asset for them. But okay, that's earnings. And man, there goes Netflix, 225 now to the upside as that is just blowing people out right now. People are going to be caught offside. This stock could be up huge tomorrow because, again, people are going to have to cover. Definitely people were thinking short. There's the move up. But if the implied move was 15%, you did not get that. You did not get that because, again, the close is 202. That means it has to go to 230. Close enough. Brendan, how did we wind up today?
Just quickly, guys, on Netflix, it was 970,000 was the total number, so not even $1 million. That they lost, but the forecast was still well below expectations as far as the actual numbers are concerned for Netflix. Here we go, 2.74 there for the S&P, 2.3 for the Dow, 3.2% for the NASDAQ leading the way. What a day, right across the entire board.
Yeah, but I mean, yesterday it was Ether, and today Bitcoin with a stronger rally. But either way, both days you've had strong moves in crypto, so we can't ignore that. I mean, Mara, I haven't looked in Mara in quite some time, and I kind of wish I had had a closer look at it today. Going to rectify that tomorrow. Mara was an impressive rally, an impressive move. It's one, in addition to Netflix, it's an obvious one that we'll be watching tomorrow morning. We can't be ignoring something like a Mara. Netflix, that's going to be fireworks tomorrow morning because it's broken out in the daily chart now, and when you have that channel break, that's when the shorts are like, but that was our stop. And a lot of stops just got run, and some people will not be out until tomorrow.
This is great. Yeah, Disney also pumping right now, of course.
Disney,
I mean, a lot of these names are going to start to pump. So we're really happy. Thank you for joining today. It's been an absolutely amazing show. Maggie made the walk, so we have to say what's up to her. Shout out to Maggie. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Fahad. Thank you for all the work that you guys have been doing. A big thank you to Tony as well for ringing that bell. And he'll be back. He'll be back for Tuesdays with Tony. I'm definitely sure about that. Thanks to Trader Prad, Luca, and Ian for all their support on the midday show as well. And thank you to everybody watching. If you can hit the like button, that would be fantastic. Let's see if we can break some like count records here as Netflix still going up to 217 right now. Kind of hesitating around this 220 area. But and also a big thanks to Brendan for all the news he's brought to us today. And your trade of the day was Lee Auto. So join us over the next minute or so. You'll be transferred over into that. But for everybody here, anything you want to say, Brendo?
I was just reading through a few other things, but yeah, I mean, the rest of the numbers were not great at all. But yeah, just that sub number, a lot lower than expected, guys.
Okay, so maybe we don't see a big move tomorrow, but sleep well if you're long, and if you're short, let's wait to see what happens tomorrow around 6 a.m. or so. So hey, for everybody here at Trader TV Live, definitely make sure you join us again tomorrow at 8:30, where we'll be going all over these numbers. We'll do it again for you tomorrow. It's Trader TV Live, 8:30. We'll see you then. Ciao.